Yeah, bravo, how you?
Good evening, good evening, good evening to all of our followers, our listening audience from around the world, from Liberia, from the US, from Europe. Welcome to the closing argument. Today is Tuesday, October the 22nd edition, and it's a great day from our end. I have Johnny. Johnny is on from Liberia. How was it in Liberia, Johnny?
Well, it's cool. The country is moving quite, like normal, even though politically, at the last house of the legislature, specifically the representative, the issue does not seem to be getting resolved in favor of the speaker. But I mean, generally, the country is calm. Everybody trying to find a way to live the best of we can find ourselves into. Where we have a difficult economy, the population of young people are unemployed. Crime is still an issue as a result of unemployment. Opportunities for income generation is still an issue. And so we are here. Well, anyway, we hope that in the next budget year, our government will organize the budget in a way that it will go more towards serving the people of Liberia and creating more job opportunities for young people that are unemployed and need to be employed and working to earn living for themselves.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But welcome to the show. I see that folks are still coming on. Please, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, thank you so much. We appreciate your commitment to getting the information as they come to us, and being part of our dialogue. And today is a very exciting day in our politics. A lot to discuss today, especially with what's happening at Capitol Hill with the speaker remover saga. And we look forward to having these conversations. So share the platform, share the show. Let's continue to share as we delve into these exciting conversations. As you all know, today we did not know what to expect. Some anticipated that the speaker would have been removed today. Today was his day to no longer be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Well, it's almost after 10 o'clock in our country, and after business day, Speaker Fonati Kofa remains the Speaker of the 55th legislature. We'll talk about what happened. We'll also talk about his interview. What did we get from his interview? And I don't like to mention that network, and I did not watch the interview, but that interview brought a lot of folks out. I've listened to snippet of the interview and things like that, but we will go into the interview and the deportment of the speaker. I based off of what I saw, he looks very relaxed. He looks a man that was not bothered. He was well composed, eloquent, and I thought that he answered some tough questions in the most relaxed way possible. So we'll talk about all of those things. Please share the platform as we await the other guys to come on. I think Sylvester Pewee just joined us, the Neo Progressive. Look, Liberia is all we have. And in as much as we kind of get tired of talking about the same thing over and over, right? And you have these moments where it's like, there you go again. How can we move forward? How can we change the narrative? How can we change the trajectory? How can we change our country? How can we get development? How can we get lawmakers to follow the laws and order? They should be the protector of the laws and order, but they're doing something contrary to that. How do we get citizens to understand how powerful they are with their votes? How do we get our leaders to understand for whom they work? Right? All of these are all major questions. And you get sick and tired of every time it's the same thing over and over. But I got a message for you today. We cannot get tired of defending, and we cannot get tired of fighting for that change that we deserve. We have a reality right now that we must not accept, but we cannot, as a country, we cannot, as a people, as patriotic citizens, we cannot get tired of our desire to see a Liberia that each of us can be proud of, to see a country where each of us, regardless of your last name, regardless of the size of your bank account, regardless of your connection, regardless of the language you speak, regardless of your educational status, we cannot get tired where each of us can have our respective roles in that society, right? And so we'll continue that discussion today. Pewee, how you doing from your end, my brother? Welcome to the show. Pewee, I think you're mute. You're mute.
Yeah, Ralph, thank you for having me, man. Look forward.
All right, let's wait. Pee Wee's coming on. Pee Wee's coming on. But look, it's going to be a very interesting show today. Pee Wee, you ready? How was your end? Johnny said like beer is cool and things are normal. And even though we have what the politics and stuff, my end is cool and nice. Over here, a nice, beautiful evening in Atlanta. How's your end?
It's cool, very cool here. The weather is good. It's one of my favorite weather day, and it's good. I've been following the process well, but we look forward to discussing a very major issue today. Wow. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Um, it looks like I'm not sure if we are on live. It looks like something is wrong with our video live. I think something is wrong. I'm not sure if we're on the radio, but it looks like we are not on live. If you can hear us, if we're still live, can you please give me a thumbs up? I'm not sure if we are live on social media. If we are, please give me a thumbs up. Fix Electronics, Miss Sonin, Robert will need a number for the USA too. Don't be like, yep, we will try to get that number. Watching closer, Moses Dennis. It looks like something is wrong with our live feed. It's not showing that we are live on Facebook. So the technicians, can you guys please try to fix that, get to that? I'm not sure if we're gonna have to uh, watching on YouTube from the UK. So we are on live via YouTube, but it seems like we're not live on Facebook. All right, so we will continue the conversation until that issue on Facebook is addressed. Let me bear with me, please, guys. Bear with me. Um, Let me send a message in the group chat. But welcome to the closing argument, wherever you're watching from. Welcome. We're glad to have you on joining us today. It's going to be a great show. We're going to discuss a lot of trending issues in our country, uh, most especially the speaker. The speaker for Nati Kofa remains the speaker of the 55th legislature. And we'll delve into that. We'll talk about his interview that he had today on that network. Philip, Katie, you're watching from on YouTube, so it looks like YouTube is good. I don't think we're live on Facebook. From all indication, it looks like we're not. All right, so the guys will be checking that out. Um, so let's continue to share the show, guys. Let's continue to share the platform. I don't want us to miss a lot of things today. Uh, okay, it's okay now. Okay, all right. So let's see. I think we're back. Great, great. Yes, we are back. We are back on. We're back on Facebook. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, please share the show. We had a little bit of technical glitch there with our social media, but we're back live on Facebook. Please share the show. Let's get the show shared. Let's get a lot of folks to come on so that they don't miss the conversation. We'll give you about 5 minutes. But it's great to be here. Always great to be here talking about our country, Liberia, where we are. Othello, Swan, watching. Thank you, my friends. Share the show, please. Let's get more people here. We are talking about what happened today. Speaker Fanati Kofa is the speaker. He remains the speaker for now of the 55th legislature. And what happened today? Everyone anticipated that we would have had a different speaker, but today he remains the speaker for now. And we will talk about his interview on that network, and we will talk about other trending issue. Joseph Boakai recently returned from his ninth, I believe, his ninth trip uh, uh, from Rome, Italy. And a lot of us have been talking about the fact that he hasn't spoken on this issue um, while they're hacking the show. They can hack all day, but we are here to stay. The closing argument is here to stay. Thanks for watching. Let's share the platform, guys. Let's continue to share the platform. We'll give a few more minutes and we will get right into the topics. And we'll talk about what happened today um, on Capitol Hill. What happened today? A lot of breaking news, man. A lot of things were said. Samson, following from Firestone. Thank you, sir. Thanks for following us from Firestone LIB. Thank you. Capitol Hill was the focal point today. All eyes was on Capitol Hill to see exactly what was going to happen. And at the end of business day, we can say that for now, Speaker Fanati Kofa is the speaker. He remains the speaker of the 55th legislature. And we don't know what will happen tomorrow, but we will see what happened. As of now, uh, there were no quorum as far as I know, and so session was adjourned today because of the lack of quorum. Of course, the anti Kofa folks had a separate section by themselves. They did not attend the joint section, and so because of that, they did not have quorum to proceed with the Liberian people's business. And so let's see what happens tomorrow. But the breaking news is Fanati Kofa remains the speaker of the 55th legislature. Okay. Let's continue to share the platform, ladies and gentlemen. Please continue to share the platform. To our technical team, if you're trying to play the video in the back, there's no sound. So if you want to add some sound to that, that would be great.
So the chief clerk and the deputy speaker has been summoned to come before the House of Representatives, the majority bloc. Honorable Priscilla Cooper, good morning and welcome to closing argument. A few days ago, we saw a communication for you distancing yourself from the senator.
I distance myself for a reason. You say I'll be back on time. Y'all will you care for us? Y'all give us way, please. I'm taking picture.
So this is it.
So thank
Hey,
you.
Robert, good to see you, man.
Thank you. Good to see you, Tomalin George. Thank you so much. But look, you saw the video today. That was from Capitol Hill. Shout out to our media team in Monrovia for being on top of this, bringing us play-by-play description of what was happening on Capitol Hill today. But look, like I said, the breaking news today is that Fanati Kofa, Jonathan Fanati Kofa, remains the Speaker of the 55th Legislature. There was no quorum today, and so the session had to be adjourned because of that. There were two different sessions. The folks called in on the removal of Fanati Kofa held their own little section somewhere else, and those who have supported the speaker was in the joint section, and because they did not have the numbers, the section had to be adjourned. But St. Tomalin George, welcome to the show. How was it from your end? It's a great Tuesday. We were talking yesterday about what to expect today, and some people said that it was over for the speaker. I got calls that look, I don't care what happened. This is it. The speaker is done. It's a done deal, right? People were actually convinced that those guys who have been calling on the removal of the speaker had the numbers, the 49 number that they needed to remove the speaker. But at the end of business days today, the speaker is the speaker. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's good to be back on the show. Robert, Pewee, and Johnny, it's good to be back, and to our viewers. Well, like we all said, we're looking at today. Today would have been a defining moment in the whole process. And like you rightly said, at the end of the day, Councillor Kofa remains the Speaker of the 55th Legislature. But again, I just got off the phone with the guy. You know, the anti-Kofa bloc, they are camping in Kenneja, RJ Hotel. And as soon as he entered his interview on Spoon, they said the interview motivated them to continue with the fight. And they are saying that. So I asked them, I said, you guys have to, they said, we're going to show you that every day the number will increase. They said on Thursday, the number will increase until they reach the 49. That's what they are saying. So, but like today's interview, I would say that the speaker did himself good to the public perception, the public optics. Okay, the public, from what I'm getting from the public, the views I'm seeing and hearing, most of them are in tune with him. But the issue is the public perception. But now the main theater is the legislature, the colleagues. I mean, now they are saying they are mad. They are not happy with what they heard tonight on Spoon. So especially one of them told me, say he called a cartel. He used the word callers a cartel and so forth. So they are not happy. So it's like he did himself good for the public perception, but for his colleagues, I know they are in trying to reconcile the dialogue. I don't know, but we'll see again on Thursday. But from what I'm hearing from them, I spoke to one of them. I want to bring on the show, but then apparently they're not in the mood to come on the show. You know, the guys are having their own good time at the hotel. So perhaps, but he said he's not going to talk, but he just said, I can tell you this. Our number will increase. Every day our number will increase, they'll get 49. That's what they just told me.
Thank you. Look, one thing he said that was intriguing to me, and I thought it was important, and I'm not sure how those who have made the case, like Melvin Cole, Luther Collins and others who had, in fact, made an official complaint to the LACC to act based on the evidences showing that they were paid to play. Yeah, there were some robbery and we've been talking about the crime in inducing lawmakers to remove the speaker rather than on a legit basis, on a cause, right, to get the speaker removed. And I thought that the speaker said something, and I want to quote. He said, "I don't think Barbary went on to remove me. I respect my colleagues." How does this translate to those who have made the case very strongly that the removal of the speaker was unconstitutional, given the fact that bribery was involved and bribery is a crime? To the point where these guys went and held a press conference, issuing an official statement in a resolution as why the speaker has to be removed. Sylvester, I want you to comment for a second. It sounds good that the speaker is convinced that no bribery occurred. He respects his colleague. Was this a strategy, right, to appear that, look, even though you guys attempted to remove Myean, even though there were money given here, but I'm not going to ridicule the House of Representatives publicly. I'm not going to disrespect my colleague. Or is he aware here that he could indirectly be calling Melvin Core and others, Luther Collins and others, liars, that their statement of taking bribery does not reflect the fact? What are your thoughts on this?
Thank you. I thought the speaker appeared to be a strong leader on the terms of what he something, but I believe if I were advising the speaker, I thought I would have asked him to use the instrument of plausible deniability. That's the instrument I would have advised him to use. Allow your surrogates, your protégés, to do most of the attack. They will be the attack doors. Then sometimes the process deniability will be, hey, they're speaking and I'm not speaking my mind, right? So you got that room to do what he did. But again, the forceful appearance here tried to show the process about he being the man, and the constitutionally in our country chairperson, he portrayed that this evening as to being very forceful. But again, he said that bribery didn't take place. He didn't, because he spoke as a lawyer also. But mind you, where he said bribery did not take place, but he also called room 10 what? Where in those surreptitious and fictitious things are ongoing. So it's the same. So if bribery is not taking place, but there are folks in there that are dangerously temporarily bring money, Robert, go in a particular room in one of the major hotels in our country, where they will manipulate, they will take the phone, call Minister Rao. Minister Rao, you're the Minister of Agriculture. We have $30 million in the budget for you. To keep this, what we're going to do, we're going to put additional $8 million on there to make it $38 million. The $8 million we'll put in to keep your $30 million. You have to give us the $8 million. Oh, yes, Bravo would. Yeah, Bravo said, yeah, I would do that. They dropped the line. They called Dr. Peabody. Dr. Peabody, your budget is $9 million, but we're putting $3 million on it to make it $12 million. The $3 million is going to be for us. I have something folks got rich overnight in that country, Robert. That's a serious thing the speaker said there. It's basically serious. We need to take note from those things. Basically, that put a dark cloud over the country on the most serious note. And he exhibited that. It's part of the main reason why they want to get rid of the speaker. Now, if the speaker came out and said there was no bribery, I thought he didn't do justice also to his folks that believe that money changed hands, and to the very and that's what part of leadership again. You are in battle. We that studied instrumental warfare in terms of politics, we always advise our leaders to lead with the agents to do the work, because sometimes you get emotional, right? Sometimes you get emotional. Collins came out. Collins just presented 14,900. 800, right? To the LACC. So what the speaker tried to do, he tried not to hit her. You get struck in the balance. It's what we call a very fluid situation that needed to be handled in a more. It's a very convoluted problem. deeply convoluted that he didn't. So yes, he came out, he hit hard, but he still struck them. So what that's going to do is going to motivate them to begin the process of hitting on him. Now, what he will have to do, and he says something very profound, that he's not going to resign. And he said that he reminded us of the role Torbot plays. So, we're not around when Torbot thing happened, but yeah, we heard from history. My dad told me the process about Torbot and the rest of that. That Torbot intent was to really strike violence in the country and move the country forward. They kill him, right? Did the country move forward? No. So they tried to get rid of him because he's a good man, trying to do a lot of good things for the country, and those dangerous elements, those backstabbers, try to get rid of him. So the message he sent to us this evening proved that the issue. But my only point there is that Mr. Collins said that people bribed him, and he said there was nothing of such that took place. So I thought the speaker needed to check something.
Thank you. I think that was important. But I want to mention something, and I could be wrong. Dr. Peabody, welcome to the closing argument. We're discussing We're discussing what happened today. As indicated yesterday, we did not know what to expect. Some corners felt as though today was the day for Speaker Kofi, and he would have been removed today. Well, Kofi remains the Speaker of the 55th Legislature. But I want you to piggyback off of where Sylvester ended. I think that Sylvester says something very, very unique when he said he also spoke as a lawyer, as an attorney, right? And I get that because he wasn't definitive in his statement. He did not say evidence have shown that there's absolutely no bribery occurred to remove me. He said, I don't think. So do you think that statement was strategic in the sense of trying to protect the legislature and trying to reach out to those guys who were involved in the bribery? Or do you think he genuinely believes that, based on his own internal investigation, that bribery did not occur?
Well, Robert, I think. Look, let me start with this. I think then we would say the reason they want to remove him is legitimate. If you say there was no bribery involved and all of that, then the different counts that they presented is legitimate. But let me say this. I think one of the things that the speaker is not off the hook yet. He's not. Okay, he's really not off the hook. And some of the things that he said today in his interview with those folks, that could motivate the basis. That could motivate the base to actually go after him more, because there were a lot of disclosure made today, especially when you are in hot water, when you're not off the hook. You should be more moderate. In fact, you shouldn't even have done an interview. To be honest, I don't think the speaker should have even gone on the platform to do an interview to prove anything. Because the thing he did today, he put some of his colleagues down. Some of the very police, he made a lot of disclosure for people wanting to put money. He made disclosure, but then going through a list to get money. I think those are very strong comments. I rather think he shouldn't have done an interview to that effect, or maybe he should have called a major press conference and said, "Look, this is what happening, and we are working and stuff." But you said you said that there was no bribery. So are you saying that in the other way? Are you saying that these different counts that they're coming up with, then it had some truth behind it? Okay. Secondly, some of those disclosures that were made today, I wouldn't have advised him to say those things, because the fact is I'm still in the hot water. You did not have a quorum today because of those people. I believe he shouldn't be removed. I believe the speaker have done a great job, but I think there were a lot of missteps today in his interview. Some of the things that he said, especially when you are still in hot water, it could even give the people more. Like somebody said that they're not saying that they even want to go more a lot. So that's how I feel. It's mixed share for me.
Thank you for that. Look, I personally don't think that if I was advising the speaker, I think that the interview covered a lot, and I think that this interview more so, if I'm right, was an interview to cover the leadership of Fanati Kofi in these difficult times. Right?
Raul, sorry, I'm not cutting you, Raul. Somebody put some people, they say, I see what Boulevard Paddle room 1026 always lack.
I think that the interview, that's interesting. I think that the interview was to show his strength and his leadership in these difficult times. But to your point, Dad, I don't think that he did those who have backed him. And I've spoken to someone who is part of this campaign to say, look, there were no legitimate reason why these guys want to remove the speaker, right? Bribery did occur. You have an official complaint at the LSCC, and then the speaker comes and say, I don't think bribery occurred to remove me, which is a total contradiction. But hopefully the speaker has some evidence to put forth maybe in the next 2 days or 3 based on his assertion that he don't think
yes, sir, Robert. You don't do interview on a duress. You don't do it on a stress. You don't do it when you're mad. You always need to be calm, settle, so that when you come up, you prepare. I'm the speaker been through a lot of stress. Let's be realistic. I mean, every day people are calling him. This person want to know this. The person want to know that. The person want to know that. But they are setting disclosure that I put out there. Is there at some of these? Is it at LCC? You know, like anti-corruption, like somebody say. Because is this how the folks operate in the House of Representatives? Because these guys have said, you know, that they have a lot of evidence. You know, there's somebody that said he can't put no other on the floor because they have their own stuff. Folks, I said it. They have their own stuff. There's a lot that's out there that they have on him. So, I mean, yes, he came out, but I really think it was that setting error there that he shouldn't have.
Yeah, but I want to play the devil's advocate here, right? I mean, the position that the speaker, look, he's the third in line for the presidency. He's a very powerful man. I mean, in difficult times, you expect a leader of his caliber to face some level of stress, right? Face some level of public scrutiny, right? And you expect them to not hide from it, right? Don't you think that people would have questioned this speaker's leadership and his strength, right? Had he just returned to the country and just hide himself and not attempt to educate the country on this matter? I mean, we criticize the president for not even speaking to this, which goes to my next point, and then you can just add to that, and then I will have either Sylvester or Tomalin come in. You know, people didn't think it was a great thing. This thing happened while he was away. He has returned. The country wants to hear his side of the story. The country wants to hear from him. Yes, he's been through a lot of stress, but that's what leaders of his caliber have to go through. They have to go through stress, right? Do you hide in moments like these, or do you confront these difficulties and these challenges? So from a political place, I think those who are advising him or who may have agreed with the interview will say, look, I think that the speaker have to confront these challenges. He have to show his calm, and he have to show the Liberian people that, look, I'm in tune, right? But he says something else with regards to, you don't think he should have done the interview. He said, we don't need presidential intervention. We can resolve this once we follow the procedures, right? How do you connect that comment to the fact that we have questioned the president's lack of a comment on this matter? Not an intervention, but just to acknowledge that he's aware of what's happening, and to just basically say the executive mansion is not in on this, and if the speaker must be removed, we must follow the laws. How do you correlate those?
If this could be resolved, then why we're going in since last week it started. We went into Tuesday. We're going to Thursday. If this could be resolved among themselves, they would have done it. Again, I condemn the act of removing the speaker. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's anything logic. But the speaker today said, and people who you had somebody who Collins, who was here yesterday, confirming that yes, they gave a bribe. And you say, no, you don't believe at all it's bribe. So what is it? What is it that is happening? That they are taking to remove you? What is it that is happening? You know, and I think, look, Robert, why the president didn't have a general press conference where other media like able to front page Africa, other media will be present and take questions. The interview tonight appeared to be a selective interview, very selective. Okay, it probably appeared that the speaker just wanted to speak to a certain just some stuff like that. Liberian people want to see. It's like you like in a shield, like you're in a shield, and you don't want to come up and except because this setting was pretty selective. I mean, I wonder where was Front Page Africa, where was EFBC Radio, what were other group that should be there asking these questions, and said that's when you talk to the public. Okay, when you have every other media institution present, then you speak to the country and say, you know what? This is my fellow citizen. This is what happened. But this appeared to be very selective, and I don't know, but it appeared to be very selective. And I think if you want to speak to the country, you should have presented that information to the country as it is.
Thank you. I see St. Tomalin is on the phone, but Sylvester, charming year. I think Dr. Peabody raised a salient point. You know, was a press conference, would it have been better, right? Where it includes a multitude of different media institutions where they can ask unscripted questions. The speaker could have give an opening statement and then take questions from different media institutions. Do you think that, like Dr. Peabody said, do you think this was more of a selective kind of interview? And do you think that the speaker should not have actually done this interview based on the stress and things he's been through lately?
Yes, I thought if you this kind of thing have to be carefully structured if you want to move and do this, because this is not a battle won already. This is a battle that is ongoing. He's staying in battle, and to be in battle, you have to be strategic. How do you want to engage in this process? Now, is the plan? What's going to be the plan? This structure, is it going to last up to next week, the week before? I mean, after. And now the guys are now giving ultimatum to the deputy speaker, and what the speaker did today was part of it helped him, and part of it did not help him. So if I was there, I would have said to him, Mr. Speaker, the best way to do this, he should have allowed his surrogate, as I said initially, to handle this process, and then he would have come out down to struck the balance if there should be any. But what is currently unfolding in this matter, because the first and foremost process he said was that he exonerated almost everybody that is accused of this process, that is new of it behind this process. He exonerated them. And he categorically exonerated them. He even said, apologized on behalf of some of his surrogates to Mr. Fada. He said he made it come up publicly to apologize to them. I don't understand the motivation behind this process. As a political person, I thought that is not the right thing to do, and he shouldn't. Now, if you submit into bullying this process, what you do, you embody those guys and to carry on their mission. So I thought he came a little forceful in some areas, but he did more harm to his foot soldiers in terms of the way he handled the press, their appearance. Now, all of what the foot soldier did, if they allowed those guys to enter the chambers last week, Mr. Speaker would have been the guy who would have succeeded in striking the deal there. They would have done that because they had the numbers to do it. They would have done it, right? But the fact that the other guys were a little bit cantankerous in terms of their approach to the issue, they were more belligerent. Let's put it that way. From Melvin Cole, that was a belligerent move on his part. Was it a necessary belligerent move? I would call it that way politically. The end justify it means. We students of Machiavelli, right? When the end would justify the means, I hear those kind of a mechanism. So, but yeah, the speaker didn't strategically, for me, he didn't, because if the result is to say someone is absolutely innocent, he apologized. This person innocent, I agree. The high issue at that level, let him force your foot and hit. Then you can strike the balance there in the process. The same thing I'm saying. The possible deniability will be his best instrument to news instead of himself coming. Now, what they're not saying, they try to hang on some of the things he said about that. Room 1026. Room 1026 is a dangerous thing unfolding in room 1026. He said some things that he sat as deputy speaker and the people manipulated his budget. Why did he say this ever since? Right? I mean, that's not going to help. in some strategic area on the most serious note. He's that, but it's important that he's saying it on a serious note. Probably he was the speaker or trying to mitigate this particular aspect of it. I want to believe that also, that he will not come out to say because he needed to manage this thing. Because there are some things, bravo, government is very tedious to run. Yeah, it poor doing the thing on I think transferring money from here from his son to the area to news, transferring the put it to his deputy speaker, going to take it and news it. Like you're trying to solve all this problem that most of the guys got just gone to. Look at the last thing before I end here. I'm a student of diplomacy also. The man talked about it, said they went to the man, said, Mr. Speaker, you need to write a letter to the Guinean military junta. To the military junta. They believe that if they create a bilateral special relation, because Guinea is suspended from ECOWAS, Guinea is suspended from the AU. So those guys went to the speaker. He didn't call names, but they went to him. Mr. Speaker, we want you to write a letter to the Guinean military junta saying that we're going to establish a special relationship with them in defiance of the isolationism that have been printed on them by ECOWAS and that of AU and the rest of the world. He said he told the chief clerk to write the letter. The chief clerk did. But when the letter got to him, then he came to the realization that he was fighting other powerful institutions. That would have been a terrible mistake on their part, on his part to do that. There would have been some international repercussion on that. Right? So all those things, so the guys are very bitter. So to know that they're fighting him because he was not willing to do most of those things that they wanted him to do in a more fictitious and surreptitious manner. And that thing is wrong.
Thank you. Tomalin, I want you to chime in on this before we go to some of what he said. So we will take some time and discuss some of the comments he made. And if you guys remember anything important that I've left out, you can just ask that as well. But to Sylvester's point, cool. Look. I won't question the intellect of the speaker. He's a renowned lawyer. He's a professional. These folks tend to use their words very in a very the measure pretty much, right? And so you would expect that they know what to say and so forth and so on. But I do have trouble with when he said I don't think, even though he wasn't definitive. But the speaker has said, look, whether I think or not, bribery occur. Since there's an official complaint made to LACC, I will let LACC conduct a third investigation into this matter, and we will wait for what their findings are. Why he didn't say it that way? That's what I would have said, right? Because to Sylvester's point, if he was Melvin Cole right now, we heard what Melvin Cole said. We heard what Luther Collins said. These guys were very adamant. In fact, we heard what Representative Musa Ability said. There have been massive accusations about bribery, right? And so to just come and say, I don't think, even though he wasn't definitive, do you think those were the wrong placement of words? Yeah.
Yeah, look, like I said earlier, the speaker he did himself good with in the public court of public opinion, the public perception and optics. He interviewed if perhaps those on the public who did not believe, who were on his side, he changed minds. He got some people on the public to join him today to come on his side. But the issue is the main theater is the house. Now, as I said, did he interview? Did he change minds of his colleagues that are anti him right now? The question we'll find out on Thursday. Like I said, I just talked to them and they said that on Thursday the number will increase. So we're gonna see what happens. If I will see whether the number increase. If the interview he did tonight, if it's in his interest to persuade the people, we'll know on Thursday. That means we'll see the anti-black are decreasing. But if they increase, that means the interview didn't really do much justice to him with his colleagues, because they are saying that he basically, like saying he threw down on the bus, basically like he called them cartel, their words they're using to me, right, and so forth. But for the public, yeah, I see some posts. I see people who are critical of the speaker in the public now. They are saying that he spilled a bean, he said everything, and now moving towards same. But they are not the ones who will be making a decision in a theater. You see, that's the thing. I think like people said, and Robert, like you also re-echo. I think his interview should have been geared towards winning over people from the anti-Kofa bloc. That's what he should have done tonight to win them over to come and join and decrease the number on the other side. But now they are saying that they said the number will increase every time they go to session until they reach 49. But let me say something now. Here's the catch. I was just informed that if they hold on, if they stay long, hold on to this thing, this stalemate, it may affect civil servants because people may not take pay for Christmas for the fact that the World Bank, the Minister of Finance needs about $80 million to make sure salary for the next few months, for the remainder of the year. And now, if the World Bank is supposed to give them $40 million of that money, so now the World Bank cannot, let's just cannot meet in session to ratify what the World Bank will give them, it will affect the payment of civil servant salary. So now, if Funati Black holds together, they may force a compromise, because if you found that the World Bank is not providing the money to support the budget, for the government, it will affect civil servant salary payments. And Christmas coming, holidays coming, people are going to get mad. So the people are going to get mad, and you know what they're going to do. So now, how long can he hold on? Can his block hold on for the next couple of weeks to force them to come to a dialogue, to come to a compromise? That's what we're to see. Because right now, Minister of Finance, I think he's in Washington, D.C., with the IMF, to meet the IMF and the World Bank or so. Now, his activities in Washington, it may be affected by what's happening back home, because you need legislative approval, support to whatever you're doing in Washington there. I mean, for the World Bank money to come to us. So that's the problem. So Robert and Peabody, it's a tricky issue though. How long can he sustain his group, the pro-Kofa Black? How long can they sustain to hold on? Okay. And now you're the other side they're saying that the number will increase every time they meet until they reach 49. So I see what happened on Thursday. I wait to see what happened on Thursday. If on Thursday, if the anti-Kofa Black number decrease, that means Kofa is making progress. His interview helped him. But if the number increase for the anti-Kofa Black, then I know then I think it's getting serious.
Thank you. But look, this is not a lame duck section, right? This is not this, Congress is not in a lame duck here, right? They are required to do the people's job.
Yeah.
And I think that the Speaker and the leadership of the House of Representatives will have to act here, right? If lawmakers just abandon, session, that there are no quorum because of what it is they want to do. And so if they don't have the numbers, it's not a reason to stay away from session. Again, he's still the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Like him or don't like him, the rules are the rules. And so I think something needs to happen if these guys continue to stay away, because again, that action of staying away could nationally impact the country. But I wanted to discuss something else he said, and I want you to answer this in 30 seconds, St. Tomalin George. He says something about we do not need presidential intervention. Presidential intervention may not be needed, but do you think he confused presidential intervention from the inability of the president of Liberia to speak on this issue as the leader of the country?
Robert, what I can see, Robert, the Speaker, he's a lawyer, he's smart, he's very smart. So that question was a tricky question, though. And now, even if the Speaker and the President have been talking, he will not say publicly that they've been talking. But now, my understanding is this something I will tell you, I will share with you guys. My understanding is that today, the President dispatched one of his cabinet to these guys, the anti-Kofa Black at RJ. The person went there, and the president was calling on them to stand down, to come to stand down, but they rejected it. So now I'm told that the president will be meeting with them in the early hours of this morning. He's gonna try go impress himself now to meet with them. So let's see what happens, though. But I will tell you, he would never have said the president been talking, because he have 3 branches of government, and the first branch of the government is headed by the speaker, and the president head the executive branch. So now the question is, you are looked maybe little bit belittled by saying the president can come and solve your problem. So you want to put it in that manner. So he said, President, I've not spoken to the president. And again, even if he has done, he won't have said it publicly. But I believe the president is involved. He's trying to either intervene, either what I'm planning, either to tell the anti-Kofa blacks to just stand down. IMF money, the IMF program, the World Bank, they need to come. If they're continuing like this, it will affect us. We won't be able to pay civil servant salaries for the holiday. Our payroll will be delayed. So you have to stand down, perhaps. But again, let's see what happens on Thursday.
Yeah, but I'm one of those, and then Johnny, you can come in before we go to the next part of what he said. But I'm one of those who, again, if I won't bet anything that the executive mansion is not in the know yet on what happened. And anyone who suggests so, they probably just don't know, right? But there's no way this thing at this magnitude would happen without the awareness of the president. But again, I'm not calling on the president to intervene, right? But the president, upon his arrival, could have just made a simple statement. I've been briefed on what occurred on Capitol Hill. I want to say that we have to follow the laws in this country. If the speaker must be removed, the speaker must be removed based on the procedures and the rules of the legislature. And that's it. That's not an intervention. That's just a leader who is on top of the day-to-day happenings in the country and who understands that this thing could have happened to him, right? Look, 49 or a certain number of lawmakers could jump up one day and say, look, we have enough evidence to impeach this president, and the procedure can move on. So I think that he should have spoke on this matter. But Johnny, I'll give you 2 minutes to come in. We've been talking about the speaker. He talked about, he said he don't think that there was robbery used to remove him. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so thank you, and let me appreciate Peabody, Pewee, and you for coming on the show. You see my background I have today. Today's my birthday. Today makes me 56. I'm so proud to be 56 years old.
Happy birthday, Johnny. Happy birthday, Johnny. Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, brother. So the lady in the background there is my mother's. It's my mother's biggest sister. She's called Sonny Master. She played a very important role in my life. So I just thought to use her photo in the background for me. And the old man in the background is my mother's big sister's husband. And the lady in the back, follow back, is my big sister, who is the first child of my mother's big sister. So in Lofa, your mother's sister are your mother. So she's also my mother because she played an important role in my life. And I thought this 56th birthday is in her honor. And all of those that, her little sisters and all of the women that play a role in my life. Because my life is actually impacted by women. That's why I'm most concerned about women welfare in my life. So let's go back to Speaker past situation. Like I've been telling everybody else on this show.
Before you continue, having said that, we're not doing something and other thing.
But man, too long just
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
It's too bad. It's too well.
So, regarding Speaker Kofa, I think for what I got out today, personally, I think it's just a matter of time. I really think that the speaker will do just as Tyler and Snow did. He will take an exit. I met with two of my brothers who were very close there in the legislature and give me some insight, and what is unfolding. Like I've been saying on this show, the legislature is a political theater. A lot of things are happening in that place. And, the river and the Atlantic Ocean or the sea, which one has more water or more sand? That is a scenario I want all to understand. The river is in one situation and the Atlantic Ocean is another situation. In as much as we may be arguing that the manner in which the speaker is being contested to be removed from the position may not be right constitutionally or legally, but the majority is taking a decision that may just necessarily compel the speaker to just give way. For example, like I heard from Tomalin, the IMF, the World Bank want to give Sylvester some money, right? Who will ratify those things? The rebel and the government, who has the advantage? Rebel always had advantage above the government because the government has a lot to do in defense of the people. Rebel can violate all the laws, but they always put more pressure on the government. So in this case, the speaker has more burden on him in the best interest of the state. The group of 42, 43 that have no burden. That all they're doing is we want you out. And we will not tell you to any session you are sitting in. Your government will not control us. Like I heard today, they gave a mandate that Deputy Speaker Thomas Fowler must appear next Thursday in their session. Otherwise, he will face dire consequences. So, for the 2 against, I think 30-31, where will Fowler go? Looking at the political configuration ongoing right now in Liberia. So I'm saying to say that the speaker may have goodwill, but time is not in his favor to gather the support he needs from the other side. Time is not in his favor because IMF coming, World Bank coming to Liberia pretty soon to support us, and people are ratify documents from the IMF or World Bank, and the speaker does not have a quorum to preside over. So, for example, if we have the next 5 or 10 sections that the speaker will not have quorum to preside over, who bears the pressure? The speaker bears the pressure. Speaker, let it go. You're one billion can't support the country. The same time with Taylor, with Snow, with Tyler, we cannot support the country for one person business. That's a common thing in this country in Liberia. So he is at the very back end of all this argument. If he can try his best, if he has the capacity to convince 10 of the other guys to join him, then he may have a ground. But I don't see the possibility in him convincing even 5 of the guys from the other side. Because for him, Mr. Kofa, very reconciliatory, mature in his response to everything. But his supporters on the other side have been arrogant, have been very, very, combative. And other guys like Nomos say, look, for example, Marvin Cole making statements that he cannot defend Kofa here alone. He cannot even control his members from the Bon County to support Kofa. He making statements that is pushing more people away from Kofa. So I'm saying the speaker need to talk to his team to calm down and ensure that they reconcile with other guys within the next, 24 hours or so. Because next Thursday, if the pressure is built on the Deputy Speaker Fowler to appear at the majority assembly, the issues take another step. Because then the speaker and deputy are divided now. The deputy goes on one side, the speaker also on the other side. And I'm very much certain 80% or more that deputy speaker Fowler will likely go towards the majority side on Thursday.
Thank you.
Robert, I beg you.
Yes.
Robert,
Go ahead.
You know what Johnny just said, right? Because what may happen is Fowler, I don't even if it's succeed removing the speaker, I don't see Fowler becoming the speaker. So now Fowler will want to protect his job as deputy speaker. He want to hold that position. So, I mean, they can do internal party discussion and so forth. But for the fact, knowing how we not stupid here, we all know that Fowler had him to play in what's happening. The speaker can go and say Fowler, he didn't believe Fowler was.
No, don't say that too many. Don't say the speaker said no.
I'm saying something. I mean, I know the people, but I was trying to say that you and know. Marco and the guys when I attack Fowler if they knew that he was innocent. They all in the legislature. They know. So my thing is that Fowler will be able to protect his deputy speaker job because even if it's still moving the speaker, Fowler could end up remaining as deputy speaker and have a new speaker. So he will. So I don't see it as a safe vote for the speaker or safe for the speaker because he will have to because if at all he remains with the speaker too, when the guys succeed, they'll go after him. So he won't lose this. So let's see what happens on Thursday. I'm very keen to see what happens on Thursday.
Thank you. Listen, let me say this before I bring Ben in, and then we'll move on to something else he said, and I will include that in my statement, and Ben can cover that. I totally disagree with Johnny. And if I was advising the speaker, I would not advise the speaker to succumb to pressure, to resign because the folks have abandoned the section. Listen, like I said, this is not a lame duck period. The question here is, why are they abandoning section? Are they abandoning section because they cannot proceed under the voice of an elected, a democratically elected speaker? This is a very easy process. If you don't have the numbers, go on with the Liberian people's business. Until you have the number, you cannot hold the House of Representatives hostage. And then you say, well, the burden is on the speaker. No, the burden cannot be on the speaker. The speaker was duly elected. And until they have the numbers, until they've gone through the legal process and the procedures to remove him legally, they cannot just abandon a section. And so some action needs to be taken. And for those who are saying, well, this is the three branches of government.
Take action against who? Action against who?
What you mean? Actually, against the lawmakers who have abandoned section for no reason. They can't.
The majority of people, for the two people.
Oh, then you can't call it the speaker. You can't call it the speaker.
Listen, Rabba. Answer one thing, Rabba. The speaker cannot take any action when he doesn't have a quorum. The quorum gives him authority.
Okay, so then what? I agree. My question is,
no quorum, no power. That's it.
My question is, here's my question. What grounds are they not appearing in session to get the speaker quorum?
Because they don't have confidence in the speaker.
Okay, so if you don't have confidence in the speaker, what do you need to remove the speaker that you don't have confidence in to elect the speaker in whom you have confidence in?
Listen, my brother. Democratically, abstention is a freedom of speech, is an expression of speech. So if a 240% abstain from section, they are telling you we don't want you. That's a simple language is telling you.
But you still don't have the numbers.
Round 1 minute, please. Round 1 minute. The Constitution is very clear.
If 38% says we don't want you, that's not a number to remove the speaker.
Yes, Raul.
But they are for the two.
Raul, a few seconds, please, Raul. Let me tell you, Johnny. To extend is not an issue here. The speaker and his side got remedy to the law.
Absolutely.
That the law says that they can compare them.
Absolutely.
That's the Constitution. Listen, and that's what's going to happen eventually. Now, these guys are not going to get the number to get the speaker out. And the speaker himself going to be remain. Now, that's why I thought the speaker should have been more a little bit, and I think he's going to do that moving forward, is to begin the process to see how you can, I don't know if I'll use the word co-opt, or how you can find friendly way to bring, but they're not going to get the number again. The number is stopped now with the speaker. They're going to be stopped there.
So what?
The number, the speaker, I believe the speaker is going to be the one to change the number. See what's going on.
What number now? What's the current number? What's the current number?
They got 42. The speaker got, I think, 31 or 30. That's the number.
Let Ben comment, Johnny. Hold on, I thought that's Ben comment. But again, like I said, those lawmakers cannot just stay away from section, and then the burden is somehow on the speaker to say, Mr. Speaker, your one cannot obstruct the people's business. No, it doesn't work that way. And I like when he said, if they cannot get 49, I remain the speaker. I will not resign. I concur. He should not resign. Ben, I'm sure you agree that the speaker should not resign. But we were talking about different things and different statements that the speaker made. One, he said, I don't think, it wasn't definitive. He said, I don't think bribery occurred to remove me. I don't think that statement suffices well with those who have made the case and have presented an official complaint with the LHCC. Do you think he threw them under the bus? And if you're Melvin Cole right now, how would you feel? What would be your next step right now?
Well, thank you. And thank you for the discussion. I was listening to my brother Johnny just and I was smiling because I think there's a lot of misinterpretation going on. And it also has to do with timing. I think people are basing their analysis purely based on the fact that because it's happened in the past, so this is what is eventually going to happen.
apples and oranges in two different times. Now, the only person who can make the determination to resign is the speaker. He can make his determination and say, you know what? I don't want to fight. The person that I just listened to, the person who I spoke to earlier, he has no intention, at least as of today, he has no intention of resigning, right? The second thing, Robert, and you are right, and Pewee, you also are right. I haven't heard what Tomalin and Dr. Peabody said, but I will say this. They too have remedy. There's a reason why they have rules. There's a reason why, because guess what? If this happens, if this were to just happen, you say, oh yeah, because a majority decided they didn't want the speaker, there's a reason why they say you got to get to 49 to remove him. Because if that's the case, we will not have no stable speaker in Liberia. Do you know how many times people have issues with the speaker? There's a reason why they say you have to get 49 votes. And this notion that, now one man business, the country will not move on. Let us also be cognizant of the fact that there are different implications that are coming in line here. I think I don't know if it was Tomalin who mentioned something about the IMF and all of these different things, right? At the end of the day, guys, if they cannot get 49, the rules are very clear. If you want to remove the speaker, you cannot remove the speaker by holding a meeting, because that was not a session they had. You cannot remove the speaker by holding a meeting in the joint chambers of the national legislature. The rules are very clear. Go in your chamber. This was not the State of the Nation address. The joint chambers is where the State of the Nation and both houses meet. If you want to carry out an action as the House of Representatives, you go in your chamber. The other thing that they don't have working for them is there could be a deadlock. And who said that, because there is a deadlock, it means the speaker should cave in? They are triggering a constitutional crisis. And no, Johnny, they're not the next 10 sessions. There are remedies, right? The framers of the Constitution knew exactly what they were doing. There are remedies. This thing cannot just go on perpetually. There's something called the writ of mandamus that can compel them. Because the framers also understood that there is also something called the tyranny of the majority. The tyranny of the majority, because at the end of the day, once you get a simple majority, anybody can claim that, they want to remove the speaker. So they put it at the benchmark of 49. It's a simple analysis. I think Musa Bealded said it on the other day, right? It's a simple analysis, right? Imagine if we had a situation where a majority.
Can we take this down, please? This is a distraction. Can we take it down, please? I want us to focus on what Ben's saying.
Imagine if we had the situation where 700,000 seditionists get in the street tomorrow and say we don't recognize Joseph Boyka as president of Liberia.
For how long?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
For how long?
What do you mean for how long?
No, not even one day.
Not even 1 day, not even 1 year.
Yeah.
That's why we got lost, Johnny.
Tell me for how long you think that protest will last, and what will be the impact on President Boyka?
Johnny, that's what I'm telling you. We're talking about law here, right? We're talking about law and we're talking about politics, right? If 700,000 seditionists get in the street and decide they don't want Joseph Boyka, it means Joseph Boyka is going to resign. Now, if he wants to resign, again, that is, Johnny.
Listen, Ben.
Can I finish?
No, but Johnny, one second, Johnny. 1 second. Let Ben finish, and I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead, Ben.
If 700,000 seditionists who voted, or people, maybe not everybody has sedition, right? If 700,000 folks who voted for George Weah come and say we don't recognize Joseph Boyka as president, so he needs to resign, right? The decision to resign, you have a right to say that he must resign. I have a right now to call on President Joseph Boyka to resign because I didn't vote for him. Does it mean he's going to resign? No. That decision is on him. He can exercise his protection under the Constitution to say that even if I was elected by one extra person, I can stay. right? So this notion that, oh, and I can tell you, Fonati Kofa has no intention of resigning. He has no intention of resigning. They will exhaust the constitutional process. They will exhaust the constitutional process. Because it was done in the past, don't necessarily mean that it will be done today. Guess what? In the past, we had council of state. Does it mean we're going to have council of state tomorrow? No. If these people claim that they have the numbers, right? This is a simple issue. The speaker threw out a simple challenge to them. You have the numbers, come in the chamber, I will recuse myself. He even said it. Once it gets on the floor and it has to do with me, I will recuse myself, get in my Grand Cru chair, the constitutional process will take its place. What is big about that? Why should we even want the speaker to resign? Why? This thing has to stop in our country where, people, no, come to the chambers, bring your numbers to the chambers. If you got 50, you got 60, whatever numbers you got, bring those numbers to the chamber. The speaker cannot hijack the gavel. If they go into the chambers and make that determination, the speaker will vacate the seat. It's just that simple. Why can they do so?
And Johnny, I'll give you 30 seconds, but I want Ben to ask something. Go ahead, Johnny. 30 seconds real quick before we go back to Ben.
So Ben, right? Democratically, right? You said 700,000 people get in the street against Joseph Boakai. That's democracy, right? If they get out in the street for the next 1 week and cause serious problem where government cannot function, it will compare Boakai to begin to understand that majority people don't want you as president of the country. And let's go back to this. Wait for me, please, my brother. Okay. If anybody in this country, in Monrovia, in Liberia, can mobilize 700,000 people in the street on a consistent basis for about a week or more, where everything breaks down, the state come to a halt, right? The president, it will be on a compelling condition to make a decision. And if the request is to ask Boakai to calm down, he must calm down. He will have to calm down. Listen,
or it's the evolution to do so.
Okay,
Johnny,
Ben.
it is the man's decision. Yeah. It is his decision to say, I will resign.
Johnny, wait.
How can you govern a place that's not governable?
Johnny,
Ben,
there are 5 million Liberians. 3 million of those Liberians are registered voters. 1-point-something million or almost 2 million of them went and voted between George Weah and Joseph Boakai. I use that analogy because I'm trying to tell you, under our form of government, there are guardrails. If the speaker exhausts all of his constitutional options, let me even give you an example. If they get to a point where all the constitutional options are exhausted and the speaker cannot, and there's no outing for him, he will have to make a decision. But as it stands right now, it is on the onus is now on the folks who don't want him to go to the chamber. It's not about sitting under his gavel. That is what people don't understand. It's not about sitting under a gavel, because the moment they present that resolution on the floor, the moment they present that resolution on the floor, the speaker will have to vacate the chair because it has to do with something about him. The deputy speaker will assume.
Let me ask a question, Ben. Let me ask a question.
Thank you.
Let me ask a question. If the group that is opposing Speaker Kofa, right, that group does not turn out to any section and remain at the number of 42 or 43 for the next 4 or 5 sessions, what do we do as Liberians? What do we do?
No, this is not. And you see, this is not about what you do as Liberians, because you know why? You second your right to them. They are your deputies. This is not about that. What I'm saying to you, Johnny, is it cannot go on perpetually. The Fremont were smart. This thing cannot go on for the next 50 years or for the next 100 days. No, there's guardrails. If it gets to a point, I just forgot the amount of time. I think it's either 3 or 4 sessions, right? If there's no quorum, In fact, what happened today in the session with the speaker? The minority guys, right? The minority guys voted for the sergeant at arms to go. They already started the constitutional process. So say
Ben, before you continue, Ben, quickly, you continue. So it's Article 33 of the Constitution.
Thank you.
Now, it says simple majority of each house shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business, but a lower member may adjourn from day to day and compare the attendance of absent members. The lower member may adjourn from day to day and compare.
Johnny, have you read that article though? Have you read that article? Johnny, have you read that article that Pewee reading?
So he needs to understand that.
This is not about.
Wait, did you say 32?
Johnny, this is not.
It's talking about quorum.
I'm there. Listen, I'm there. Okay.
This is not the tyranny of the majority.
We're discussing here. Gentlemen, we're discussing. 33 says a simple majority of each house shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business. Right? So does the current group on the speaker constitute a quorum?
No.
Listen. 1 second. A section can only be convened by the speaker.
Which one?
Exactly. There are coming. Wait a little bit, Johnny. The meaning of this.
I'm following you.
The meaning of this process. Listen,
listen, Johnny. From day to day and compel.
Yes. So you know who comparing? The speaker camp is going to compare those people.
Okay, but let Johnny come. Let him come in.
Me, Loma, man. I don't know English well. I don't know English. I know Loma very well. To compare the attendance of absent members.
Yes.
Please tell me how we speak up. Kofa and his group compel the majority to come to section.
Pewee, Johnny. Let me ask you a simple question. Let me answer that question for you. How do they compel you when they say the court needs you? When they say the court needs you, how do you go there? When they say the court want you.
But Johnny, how you ask that kind of question?
What kind of question is that?
This is law, Johnny. Listen.
Use the law.
Listen, Ben, right? Ben, listen. I don't care how people understand me, but this is my view on this matter. If you say to compare, what is the process and procedure involved?
But Johnny,
that the speaker and his group has to compare this
Madamus.
The court.
Madamus.
Gentlemen, don't get annoyed with me. Please
no, we're having a conversation. Are you still getting annoyed? We're having a conversation. Are you still getting annoyed?
Let's go. Let me guy.
Let's go move on, man.
No, please.
Let me come back. Hold on.
Listening.
We gotta move on.
Johnny, hold on real quick. I think we have to. Let's bring it back because Dr. Peabody got to come in. All right. The Constitution is very clear, right? Just because they have 43 doesn't mean that they have the right to convene sections, right? Only the speaker can convene section. And while we are at that, I was told today that these guys, the meeting that they had, they were able to pass something. I think they voted on something on 2 letters or something like that. That is unconstitutional. They cannot do that, right?
Well, 1 second, Robert. Quick information, Robert. First of all, there were not 43 human beings in that place today. That's the first thing you must understand. You know when they called their roll, I watched their session. You know they called Rugi Barrett name, and Rugi Barrett was sitting in the session with the speaker.
Okay, so the numbers were off.
Exactly. What I'm trying to say here is, what are you sit in a room and you gather 44, 45, 49, 48.2% of the people? You need 49 members to go to sign a resolution with wet ink. Resolution with wet ink. Put it on the agenda. Once that agenda is read, the speaker, because it has to do with him, will vacate the chair and become representative from Grand Crew County, and the constitutional process goes in place. Because guess what? It is comparable to an impeachment. The speaker will have to give his evidence. He will have to appear before his peers to explain, to defend why he did what they say. I mean, to go against the evidence they're producing. There is a whole constitutional process. They're not jungle justice here.
And let me also reiterate Article 38, and then Dr. Peabody, you can come in with the next piece of what the speaker said. Breaking news from my perspective. Article 38 of the Constitution also talks about rules and procedure of each house of the legislature, right? And I like what it says that, and it also talked about that all rules adopted by the legislature must conform to the Constitution requirement for due process.
Yeah.
Okay, and so again, if these guys are not happy, if they've lost confidence in the speaker, it's not enough constitutional reason to stay away from section. They appear to do the Liberian people's work. I think they should be doing and going across the aisle and working to get the 49 that they need to remove the speaker. But even with the 49, are they going to have a separate section to remove the speaker? No, it has to happen in the Jones section. And so until they have the 49 to remove the speaker by rules and laws, they cannot hijack and stop the Liberian people's business.
But we saw it happen even in America, and before Peabody coming, we saw it happen in America. How many votes did it take to elect a speaker here the last time when they had a problem?
15.
You remember?
15.
Yeah. There was a quota they had to meet. You know how many they kept voting?
Yeah. Kevin McCarthy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Peabody, I want you to come in. You've been very, very patient. And then maybe if you want to chime into the current discussion, but I want to talk about another breaking news that we heard, and you can start with that. The speaker said, I am voting for George Weah in 2029. I am not eyeing the presidency. I'm a Sasstown boy. He's a Sasstown boy. There have been this speculation about Speaker Kofa, prepping himself for a possible 2029 presidential campaign under the CDC-led government. I mean, these are all just speculation, but I think he kind of ended that speculation today. And he said, and he also reconfirmed that the former president is on the ballot come 2029. What are your thoughts on that statement? It was a very definitive statement. I think he's on record saying that he has no intention of running come 2029. And how does that change this whole debate? I mean, of course, we have many more years from now to 2029. But for the speaker to just make that definitive, very explicit, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, 2029 is far from. It's a long way from here. That's a great political move. I mean, but I can tell you 2029 is far from here. When 2029 gets closer, then let's get the speaker to come back and reaffirm his commitment to Joe Weah. But the speaker had already said that if Joe Weah is running, he was not run. He will not seek contestation. But 2029, I would say 2029 is very far. So, I mean, people will say those things, and then sometimes they come back and intend to run. So you can leave all options. For me, I would leave all options open and stuff like that. Robert. But I think that's 2029 is far. So I won't even want to comment on that. But what I want to say is that I do not support the removal of the speaker. But we live in a very vulnerable, a very gullible culture where the Constitution overlook a lot of things. The law overlooked many times, and I think the speaker's best bet is to continue to negotiate with this majority bloc and to see how they can resolve this. Just sitting there and we saw this happen with Tyler, where people even try to go to court. Yes, they can issue a writ of mandamus, and they can compel them to go back to court and go back to session and things like that. But know our culture, and because right now we don't know who's behind this, to be honest. And if you got 42 people who are standing up there and saying that they do not support this speaker, that's a problem. So the issue here is to find a way of working with these people. But if you're calling them cartel and all of that now, they could bring in a greater problem. That could upset them more. So I think the best way now is for the speaker to find a way of trying to negotiate and trying to get back so that the Liberian people business can go on, you know. But all these things where we can go to the court, we seen the court here. We seen other people that were impinged, Kabina Jan and other people there. And that's it. We want to sit there and say we trust the legal system in that country. The legal system is a complete mess. So if you think that you can go to court and do things, I think the best way here is to negotiate. And if you think the president can support you doing this, or to negotiate, I would go for that rather than just sitting thinking that the law will really apply. Liberian people do not believe in the law; they don't follow the law. But he needs to work with them, and I think that would be the best way.
Yeah, but let me have Ben just 1 second. I know you. I don't
quickly.
Go ahead.
Quickly, Peabody, I just want to interject something quickly. I also listened to him. He was very careful, and I think many people miss that. And maybe he needs to reiterate it if he ever does another interview. He didn't call all of his colleagues cartel. He was very specific. He said he believes. In fact, he consistently said that he respects his colleagues. But he highlighted the fact that there are few of them who he referred to as the cartel that may, because he was very careful, he said that may have provided wrong and false information to his other colleagues. And he believed that once the facts are presented to them, they will come and they will all sit and be able to do the people's business, and they will go ahead and go through this process. The other thing he stated, right? He was very specific when he talked directly about the fact that most of the other members, right, a vast majority of the members may have grievances, right? But his appeal to them was, come and let's face each other. He actually said that. He said, let's face each other and deal with this issue. So I don't think negotiations have stopped. I think what he did today was also what they have been doing, right? Let's forget now, this was the speaker first time opening his mouth. All through this saga, they have been the one talking, and different different operatives, right? Marvin Cole from his side, these other guys from his side. This was his first time speaking. So yes, I think when he highlighted the fact, when he used the word cartel, he took it head on to some of the folks when he talked about manipulation of the budget and stuff like that. But his argument was, and I just wanted to provide that clarity, his argument was that he believed that some of that, a vast majority of them who are in that block have been misinformed. And that's the reason why he said by the cartel, or I think the word he used.
Yeah, but to Dr. Peabody's point, Ben, I actually didn't answer that question, but you can come back and answer. You can think about this. If I was Melvin Cole or Luther Collins, I'm frowning on the speaker's statement about I don't believe robbery took place to remove me, right? Especially when they have submitted an official complaint with evidences to LACC, right? He could have said, well, I can't speak on that. My opinion doesn't really matter since this issue is before the legitimate body to investigate corruption in this country, rather than just bluntly throwing his those guys under the bus. Remember, this is the only criminal offense that they have to prove that the remover has no substance, right? And even if we go back to the resolution, based on the lawmakers who wants to see Kofa removed, there's nothing that they said that has anything to do with the speaker's current responsibility. Everything they talked about budget-wise was 2022, 2023. Well, they had this information to make an informed decision on who was the next speaker. And they had this information, and even based on the information they had, they still voted for him. But hold that thought. I want Tomalin to come in. Tomalin, Speaker Kofa said, I have no presidential intention. I'm voting for President Weah in 2029. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think the speaker I think trying to reassure the president and the former president and the CDC bloc, the CDC party, that he's still a loyal partisan, a loyal member of the party, and as long as the former president is going to be running, he has his support. So, but again, I don't know how it will play out in the public, in the court of public opinion. There are mixed views on it, but for seditions and the former president, I think they will with a statement that this man have I don't have any ambition. He will not honor our process we want to run. So I think that's why he played it. But for quick, Robert, I think the speaker, right now, I think he has two options though. The issue, Representative Luther Collins was on the show yesterday, and you heard him saying that he talked about the LACC, everything, how he went to the court and he considered it as a bribe, attempt of bribing. And when we pressed him, he said, yeah, when the time comes, he will provide the evidence about who. In fact, he called the names of people who gave the money. He said Kola and Guar, right? And he called the name and said he will provide more evidence. But if, like the speaker said tonight, he said he will present his evidence when the due process starts. So, but if the speaker if they have evidence, real evidence that the guys use money to bribe his colleagues to remove him, that's a crime. That alone will defeat the purpose. I don't care what happened. I don't think that even if the code in Liberia, if they are not genuine, whatever the case, they just cannot look at the facts and dismiss it. That alone will undermine the process to remove the speaker. Once you is established that bribery did occur, that they attempted to bribe to remove him, that's a felony. That's a crime. That alone will defeat the purpose. Now, the second thing for him is that, like Peabody, all you guys said, the second option for him to negotiate with the anti-Kofa bloc. Now, but again, in the process, he just cannot take any kind of action on any of his colleagues or so forth. He had to negotiate with them and ensure that they find amicable solution. But like I said, from the guys that at RJ that came there after the president interview, one of them called me and were talking, and it was like they're angry. They say, in fact, then I told her, you have the number. They said, well, on Thursday our number will increase. Then they said it will continue to have a number increase on the week for the 9. So the question is, what is so happy on Thursday? If comes Thursday, if the number from the anti-Kofa bloc starts to decrease, then I know his interview today was very helpful to him and able to pursue some of his colleagues. But from what I'm hearing from them, they felt that when he talked about, we went into talk about how they've been doing business prior to this session. He felt that they were throwing them like on the bus, and then even one of them talked about the word cartel, used the word cartel, and that annoyed them, right? So now, and they say what he did, he motivated them to continue the fight to remove him. That's why he interviewed today on Spoon did for them. That's what they're telling me, right? So now, like I said, on Thursday, we want to see if the number decreases. That means he has done himself a good job. But if they increase the number, then the speaker is in trouble. So we'll see what happens. I want to see what happens on Thursday.
Thank you. I will have Sylvester come in, and then we'll go to my big brother Gongloe. But let me just add to what you just said, though. Again, Kofa and them, they are the political gurus when it comes to politics in our country. He's a lawyer. He understands the language. He understands the laws in our country, and so I would not attempt to question his statements and the strategy behind them. But listen, if there was an attempt to remove the speaker on Tuesday last week, and that attempt failed, Ben, one would think that they had the number 49 to remove the speaker had section been allowed to go through. Mm-hmm. Okay, for that number to reduce 48 hours later signifies that some calls were made and some lawmakers changed their minds. Mm-hmm. So obviously, without the speaker even speaking to this issue, shows that he's ahead of the game right now. So again, when the speaker comes out, the speaker is under no obligation to appeal or appeal to these guys, because again, some of their minds have been made up. Some of them have received the money. their minds have been made up. If I was Speaker of Lofa, I would be open and appeasing to the folks who have backed me. Okay, again, if I was Melvin Cole or Luther Collins, I'm not happy about the Speaker saying I don't think. Again, and I want to reiterate, he didn't definitively say there were no bribery there, right? He said, I don't think. So,
Yes.
you know,
And he also stated that the LSCC has taken cease of this matter. And as a lawyer, I cannot
perhaps.
Yes, he also said that.
But I would have preferred him reference the LSCC.
No, he could have. He could have.
Exactly.
And
just withhold his personal opinion.
He could have. Yes.
Because to say, I don't think, also indicate that he probably could have done an internal investigation based on what was made available to him, the information made available to him. But Luther Collins and Melvin Cole have a whole different perspective on this matter, right? So Sylvester, I want you to comment real quick on the speaker's statement about 2029. He intends to support his president, his leader. He said he has no presidential intention. I know that the Peabody thinks that 2029 is so far away. He could have a whole different statement. He's currently on the record. So, do you think that anything could change from that to 2027 or 2028?
Yeah, for now, I'm not reading that line. Now, let's agree that someone going to take some maybe one drum of power and give it to the speaker for the press conference. He would never have said he want to contest. God forbid, I know you don't do it. I just want to say he would never have said that. So he would never have said.
And plus, you are responding to a question.
No, but remember now, Ben. I don't like the guy. I don't like Stanton, and I don't hit the guy. Right? That's why I don't watch Spawn a lot. But I don't hit him. I just don't like his shenanigans. But I thought I mean whoever gave those questions to him, those questions were strategically asked, and some of those questions were politically influenced to put the man on the record. Stanton knows what he's doing.
And to take it on from there, I thought he was very tough on the question, and he pushed the speaker to say some things.
Exactly.
And since I've been seeing him today, he was very performing in terms of the way he engaged the speaker. And if those questions were quite on to Antonio, he pushed the speaker to say, and the speaker answered both of these things, and he pushed the speaker to even say both of them for Sastan. But then, listen, when the speaker will come and say, "Nah, he really not gonna think when John, we have not spoken to nobody." The former person have done that. I didn't expect that, but I want the most sure. No, I expected, but again, he had to do justice to the question to answer the question. But here's what I'm going to say: this process that is unfolding currently, where we are now, if those guys don't get the number on Thursday, I can predict here that the coup is done. Because after Thursday, Article 33 will start, the guys will start to work on to enforce that now. My dear brother Johnny, the lower members will be the legally presiding person. To remove the speaker, you have to come on the gavel of the speaker to present the resolution. That's the process. You come on the gavel, present the resolution, you got the number, you move to. And that's why he said, if you get to 49, and you come in chambers, and you present this process, he will recuse himself, and eventually he'll leave as speaker. He'll go be an ordinary floor member and move the country forward. But what I do want to focus on, I want the speaker to begin intensifying here, is to start to liaise with most of those guys. They figured we have 10 more citizens that are with the renegade group. I call my man today. Imagine, even the clerical staff are divided now, right? The chief clerk of the house,
yes,
is with the speaker. The deputy chief clerk is with the speaker. The chief or the senior stenographer is with the rebel group, right? I call them a choice of war. It's the rebel group, right? Because anything, if you that's me, right? So I don't want to something else. What is happening? They have sent a caveat to the deputy speaker and the chief clerk and the deputy that by Thursday, so they're trying to showcase, they're trying to exercise some strength here, right? By Thursday, they don't report to their section, they will be considered a government bone in their own way. So, and the
Sylvester, did the sergeant have to sign a letter or give them today from the breakaway group? Did he have to sign that?
Yeah, so it is as per their rule, and as per, because their rule is in conformity with the constitution.
No, but Peabody, that not the sergeant arm. That was not the sergeant arm that signed it.
Is the chief clerk?
No, it was not the chief clerk. It was the guy, one of the guys that from the secretariat who the group appointed.
Okay.
Because what they did today, they went about doing it like they were having a session, right? So in order for them to have session, so Clarence Guard today was supposed to be acting speaker. So they created their own government today, right? Okay. So they appointed somebody as acting chief clerk. That's why you see on the letter it says acting chief clerk. But the sergeant at arms, and remember now, these guys, these people in secretariat are elected also. They are elected. The sergeant at arms is elected. The chief clerk is elected. The deputy chief clerk, they're all elected, right? So just to provide that clarity, it was not the sergeant at arms that signed it. It was the person who, that guy named, was the one who they say they elected today as the acting chief clerk. Because according to them, for them to do their business, they needed a chief clerk. So just a clarity. Pewee, sorry for
yeah, no problem, Ben. And that's just the process for me. So Robert, quickly, this issue here, we have to take it very seriously. And I believe the speaker, I suspect the speaker may survive this battle, but he will have to be strategic moving forward, and that there will be a resurgence of the coup coming up very soon again. So the speaker have to move. And now the court system will play also in this line. Now, if the speaker is strategic, and if the CDC, the political institution, is doing a lot more to bring most of their members back on board, they can avert this coup by the end of the day tomorrow. Now, that's what they need to concentrate on. We have 10 more citizens in the renegade group. If you can work to bring at least or 10 or 8 back or 7 back, you will have averted a lot of things will have been done in this process. But I hope we need to wait and see what's going to happen. But the speaker will have to be a little forceful in this process. He's sounding a little reconciliatory. That is also good as a leader. He's sounding tough in other areas, referring to some of them as the cartel guys and the rest of those things, and talking about where they can normally go and other things. Also, room 1026. Now, I don't know if whatever, but he make the disclaimer quickly as a lawyer. He say, you're not saying the hotel is a bar hotel, right? But that room got some dangerous things. And somebody said that room always locked. So I don't know.
Look, Kehleboe, just 1 second. I want Kehleboe to chime in. Kehleboe been patiently waiting. Kehleboe, we're not going to go back to the other conversation, but I'll give you 3 minutes. We're talking about the breaking news that the speaker said that he will support the president. He intends on voting for the former president George Weah in 2029. And his interview in its totality. What are your thoughts on his interview? I'm not sure if you watched it, but I'll give you 3 minutes to give your thoughts, and then we'll move on to a different topic, and then take some calls, hopefully.
So Robert, out of curiosity, you didn't give Tomalin George 3 minutes. You didn't give Pewee 3 minutes. Why are you timing me? I watch you navigate between the different.
Okay. I apologize. Go ahead. Just be reasonable. Go ahead.
Oh, just out of curiosity.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, we don't talk in a minute. Sorry, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
It's not possible. You are right, though. I think there are a few things. I just want to pick on a few things, and I actually plan to say just 2 things, 2 proposals. But when I listen to Peabody, I listen to Pewee, there are a few things, and even your question you asked about Funati train his supporters, I think Melvin Cohen and others under the boss, and I wanted to put a context to it. Because even just by his use of cartel, it has been misinterpreted. When he used a cartel, he used it in the context. He didn't mean the whole group, okay? Now, I think to say I don't believe bravery took place, I think was a strategic statement. I think it was good to say that, because if you say bravery took place, you also be accusing the other group of engaging.
All of them, yeah.
That would make it difficult for negotiation. So it was good to even make that statement, allay the fear of the other side, and deal with his supporters. That, hey guys, if AACC is investigating whether I say bravery took place or it didn't take place, then I'm going to stop. So it was better for him to say that strategically and don't play into that allegation and let AACC go on. Because if you say it took place or it didn't take place, it's not going to stop AACC from investigating. So I thought it was a strategic statement. I wanted to throw that out. But the other thing I want to talk about is, I'm not a fan of Funati Kofa, and everybody knows that. I really believe that is a conflicted person, but in the interest of the Constitution, we must defend the Constitution. That's what I'm doing while I'm doing, or I have been doing what I've been doing in the interest of our country, not Fonati as an individual. And I will make this proposal to those of you who talk to Fonati Kofa. The legislature is a political theater. There are few things that are moving in the next 2 weeks. The budget might be submitted to the legislature. There might be some loan agreements coming before the legislature for ratification and what have you. If I were Fonati Kofa, I will actually have I will just rapidly constitute a coalition of civil society group, and maybe we'll call them the Liberia Patriot Movement, and declare a Patriot Day where you mobilize more than 20,000 people to march at the Capitol building in defense of constitutional rule. If the Unity Party wants chaos, they will have chaos on their hand. I think this is when there might be nervousness in the executive mansion. There might be nervousness in the South region. You know what? This is how Liberia gets to a boiling point. There are about 20,000 people out there in defense of a speaker. Let's bring sanity to that country. I think in my mind, this is a stronger call for Fonati to declare a Patriot Day and mobilize 20,000 people, boss them from all you can boss them, let it descend on Monrovia. You know one thing? And they should do that during the weekday, maybe Wednesday, Monday morning when people are trying to go, businesses shut down, out of fear. Liberian does not like difficulty. You do that. You paralyze even workers going to work. The Romans were banned. The Liberian police is, the strength of the Liberian police is less than 2,000. Amen. I think that's one option before him. This legal thing, both can play simultaneously. But I think there's a dangerous game going on here, and I think he's been fought by powerful forces. My fear is that he may eventually succumb if he does not move aggressively to have a political alternative as a biking strategy, as a biker strategy. That here, you know what? Send that normal game. I can put 20,000 people in the street to march at the Capitol building. It's the people's building. If you declare a Patriot Day, nobody can stop them from entering. They can block in front of the executive mansion. Already, President Garguah is going to the university tomorrow. My own party, the party I was member of the Central Committee, co-chair of Party Affairs, and also presiding chair of the 16th Annual Congress of the Vanguard Student Unification Party, has declared not to enter the campus. And I think that's a powerful statement.
What you said they did?
They've said President Garguah should go to the university campus tomorrow.
Who?
So,
really?
Vanguard Unification Party.
They've issued a statement.
Oh, really?
Tomorrow's a long PhD program at LU. And
so who
are there to stop the president from going?
I don't. Anyway,
you know what? We stopped those from visiting the university campus.
What's wrong?
Go hire running.
Kehleboe, you're putting violence.
You see, Tomalin, we've had this argument. Violence from powerful people, you consider restoring law and order. Corruption is a violence. You must get this. When people at the Capitol building who allocate to themselves our resources, like I heard from Vandala Patry, is that a guy from Mangibi called? Is that Lawrence guy or Clarence guy? He rides cars that worth $95,000. When they allocate resources to themselves, that's violence against the poor people. The poor people have a right to fight back. And one of the only avenue the poor people have to fight is their fault, their voices. They raise their voices. And that's what the poor people have been doing in the country. Because we are at the periphery of society. And the powerful people have pushed us to the margin of society. We don't, our voices are not in the newspaper because you got to pay money for your voices to enter the newspaper. We don't have the money. But what we have, we can defend ourselves and newspaper can pick it up. And I think this is what is available.
Thank you, Kehleboe. I will give Ben 2 minutes to make.
No, but I need to say something now, Robert.
Okay, go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes. Because
Okay,
I wanted to talk about this oil block and Mr. Eason. I wanted to talk a little bit about that before we go. We have about 30 more minutes. So go ahead, 2 minutes, and then Ben can come in. Johnny,
he's stick.
Johnny, you frozen?
Okay, yeah. So let me now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like I said from the initial part, that this whole issue that is going on at legislature, especially with the House of Representatives, I don't have interest because I think they are just wasting our time as Liberians. But however, we have to discuss it. I mean, Kofa stays, Kofa leaves. It's none of my business. I have no interest because they are not doing what is necessary for Liberian people. You should be focused on doing the people's job. And the job is to provide services for us in this country, improve our health sector, improve our education, improve our road connectivity, improve agriculture, improve the economy. But they have left that entirely behind Kofa removal. So since the platform one of the look, take it from me today. What Kofa does, what he wants to do, I can see that at the very end, Kofa is going to back off on the process and there'll be a new speaker in the next month or so. Because Kofa will be pushed against the wall. Even if what my brother Kehleboe is saying, if Kofa has the capacity of mobilize 10,000 people in Monrovia at the capital building, the other guys have the same capacity to mobilize more than that population. And what result to will be chaos. Because of who business? Very good. Then they will say, who business? What? The Kofa business. They will not call nobody need for that group. Kofa business. Kofa, he won't move. Kofa hard-headed. Kofa is stubborn. At the end of the day, Kofa will be called in the corner to back off. That's what I say to you guys. I'm not a UPA person. I did not support Buakai for presidency. I will not support him because I have issues. Why should we have somebody at this age in this country that has so much need of energized leadership? You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, I'm telling you from analysis.
Thank you, Johnny. You're frozen. But listen, we can't continue.
We can't fight all the read politics and law in political science. You understand the interceptions and the connection between politics and law in this country, anywhere in the world, politics and law. So I'm just saying from my analysis, Kofa has all the right to protect himself. He will not want back off. By the end of the day, the burden is him. Kofa is the duty bearer in this process, and he'll be compared to back off. Thank you.
Listen, if the speaker is listening right now, let me just be very clear. We cannot continue to run our country this way. We must learn how to follow the laws, and we must learn how to follow procedures. If anyone who is not happy with the speaker and wants to remove the speaker, do so by following the laws. The speaker must not be pressured to resign or to step aside because of a few guys who don't like him and have refused to follow the law. So, Mr. Speaker, fight until the very, very end. And if they want to remove you, let them produce a 49. I'll give you two minutes.
Robert, thank you. Let me say this. First of all, Johnny, I can assure you, you don't know for Kofa, and he's not going to back down. It will be done the right way.
I have no problem. Go ahead.
Johnny, we're not Johnny. No,
go ahead. No, Ben.
By the way, I love your
background. Wait, let Ben finish.
By the way, I like that picture. I like the background. I like your background. Let me say this. You don't know him, and I can tell you he's not going to back down. If they want to remove him, they would take the 49 names. They would take the resolution with their wet ink on the resolution, signed, by the way, which they don't have. They don't have the original copy of the resolution. Hopefully, maybe they be able to sign a new resolution again today, right? But I can tell you, before we have former Speaker for Kofa, it will be done the right way. He's not fighting, and I heard him very clear today. He's not fighting. It's not about the job. It's not about being speaker. It's about it being done the right way. You got an issue, bring it to the floor. He will vacate the chair. He will be giving his due process. And this rebel business in the House of Representatives got to stop. It has to stop, right? The other thing I wanted to say, I know Robert asked me, but I kind of jumped over it, was this issue with him and George Weah, right? Look, first of all, he was responding to a question, like I said, Robert. Secondly, Kofa has never declared that he wants to be president. Never. There have just been conversations. People have just had conversations about, every time in our political process, people throw names out there. And because he had gotten elevated to become speaker, people have seen him as a, potentially a viable option. But I've always insisted, and Kofa has, and I think this is what he was saying earlier when he said there would not be two Southern people on contesting against each other. The other thing that I believe that he accomplished today by answering that question is that there has been an effort on the part of folks on the Unity Party to sow seed of division between him and George Weah. And I think he laid that to rest today in the most public way. He's on record now, right? By publicly going on record to say this is not going to happen, right? So I don't think this issue, and I agree, there's a long time from now to 2029. Yes, I agree with all of that, but I do know, first of all, it would be stupid on his part, forgive my English, to think that he can run in an election against George Weah when the two of them on the same ballot. I mean, it just don't make any political sense. And knowing Kofa and the political mind that he has, he would not do anything that crazy. I will end on this note, and I think I got 30 seconds left. I will end on this note. I will reiterate what I said. By the way, there are conversations, there are negotiations going on. What you saw happen today and what you've seen that happen over, it's the same thing that happens in negotiation. It's carrots and sticks, right? When you go into a negotiation, you want to be able to go from a position of strength. You want to go to the table from a position of strength. Look, for this crisis to be resolved, there will have to be some compromises. Definitely. Nobody should be under the illusion here that he will not talk to a few, to the other side. But this notion that they're going to hijack it, they're going to sit in the joint chambers and they will declare him not speaker, it's a wet dream. It's not going to happen. If you have the 49, which I think, and I really believe they don't have the 49, that's the reason why they have not gone to this session. Because if they did, we would not be having this conversation. They would have gone to session today. We would have started the constitutional process of the removal of the speaker. I just wanted to end on that note.
Robert,
yes.
I just want to share this quickly. Everybody, 30 seconds. What you guys think will be the outcome of this whole Walla Walla? How you think will end? I want to know. 30 seconds. How you think will end?
Let's start with the Peabody and then
Oh, sorry. I was going to go first.
Because that been quiet for the Peabody. And
Tony, that's a. We don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. When you have this, for me, I don't have confidence in the law. Most of the laws in Liberia, corruption is very, very prolific around there. And as I said, I do not support the removal of the speaker. But for a country like Liberia and that parliament, that house that is already corrupt, anything can happen. It's going to be two-way. Either Speaker Kofa will remain, or they will have the advantage. That's what I think.
Ben,
30 seconds. I think Kofa prevails, and let me tell you why. In 30 seconds, he prevails. I think he's a skilled negotiator. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think what he did today, I think he moved the ball ahead today. He played smart policy. He played chess today. I think they've been playing checkers. He played chess today. Again, like I said, I heard him very clearly today in that interview when he was very specific. Now, there's certain people he's not going to talk to. I know that. But for the vast majority of his colleagues, that's why he kept insisting that I respect them. And like Kehleboe said, there was a reason why he did not throw the bribery thing with a wide net. He did it on purpose. I think he would prevail. I think the moment they had to remove him was when he was in Rome. Knowing Kofa, I think he will prevail. That's my bet.
Kehleboe, you're muted, sir.
Here's what I would say. I I don't have a crystal ball, and nobody has that. But there are two things. If Kofa go the route that
But why are you
others
saying two things? The man said name one. And now
no,
your
no,
question
no,
coming
yeah.
in?
No, because we don't have a crystal ball. So
But tell me
if
the
it
question
goes,
was where thing will happen.
if it goes a route of what others have asserted before, due process, Supreme Court, he will lose. But if it does go, mount a mass movement in defense, either you call it a patriot day or in defense of the Constitution, and also pursue the legal thing. It creates its own tension and its own momentum, and the bikers, those behind this plot will bike off.
Thank you. You want to answer your own question? What do you think will happen? Then I will close on it.
Yes, for me, what I see what happened, right? First, I want to see what happens on Thursday first, right? But my answer, my answer to this. If Speaker Kofa can hold on to his block right now, and no deception, like no defection, I think he will prevail, because like Kehleboe said, I said it earlier, because of this World Bank ratifications that is pending and coming towards the holiday season, the legislature needs to be in session in order for that money to be approved, to be approved by our lawmakers. If not, they run into problem, because if you can't pay the people, you have a problem. That's why I believe the president is making intervention now, even though the speaker was smart not to mention it. But I'm sure everybody knows, from what I gathered today, the president will be engaging the guys, or the anti-Kofa bloc. It's in his own interest to make it happen, or else the government might just receive a public rebuke. So I believe that will still happen. Yeah.
Look, to be honest with you, for me personally, like I stated when this thing happened, I don't care whether or not Speaker Kofa survives. What I care about is our democracy surviving. And if the protection of our democracy means Kofa survive this issue, then so be it. But I'm against what has occurred, and I agree with the speaker. If there are any issues or to remove the speaker, it should be done legally, and it should follow or conform with the rules and procedure of the legislature as per the Constitution of our country. And for those who have said, look, the fact that Kehleboe said if he goes the due process and Supreme Court route, he will lose, speaks to why we must not give up on this fight. Because again, we cannot continue to do backdoor deals when the Constitution should guide our steps, especially when it comes to the protector of the laws. Lawmakers are protectors of the laws. There should be an exemplary of the laws, not the opposite of that, And so the fact that these guys continue to take the illegal route when it comes to the bribery route, when it comes to removing speaker because it's been done in the past, must not be something that we indulge for the Liberia moving forward. But I want us to
Robert, if I can just make a quick comment on what you say, why I said that. The Supreme Court is both a legal forum and a political forum. Get this right. This is a Supreme Court that has opined in Madam Kehleboe Gongloe versus the Elections Commission that yes, there was cheating in this election, but the cheating was not grave to alter the outcome of the election.
Thank you, Kehleboe. That's what I'm saying.
Charles Walker Bronsky took the issue. He said yes, they admitted there was cheating in the election, but it was not too grave to. They admit to wrongdoing legally if a process is on a legal process and there is an infraction. It invalidates the entire process.
No, but I think the legal argument, Kehleboe, let's be fair. Let's be fair.
About politics and law.
One second. Let's be fair, Kehleboe, and I'll give you maybe 30 more seconds. I think the issue here is, and may his soul rest in peace, in every elections, there are discrepancies in every elections. There are irregularities in every elections. And I think the argument that Charles Bromsky made and they found in the conclusion was that there was no denying that there were irregularities. There was some rules and something broken. The question here was the magnitude of it, the percentage of it, to undermine the entire process or to redo the process. I think that was the debate. And I agree. I don't think that, he said there was irregularities. No one argued that there were not irregularities. There were not systemic issues that happened in other elections. But was it enough? Was it enough to avoid the election result? I think even Ben, who was
the results in those areas.
I'm sorry?
They could have avoided the results in those areas that he mentioned.
But even in the areas that we're talking about, it was the percentage was not enough. It was not enough to redo and spend millions more dollars to recount ballots or redo another election. So again, I think it's apples and oranges here, right?
All right. Anyway,
to just say based on that, if the speaker goes the route that we all expect him to go, we all expect our lawmakers to go, which is the due process and the constitutional route, then he loses. If that's the case, then how do we end this matter?
I think I was very clear that you must have a two-pronged approach. The route, the legal, because don't forget the Capitol building is a political theater. It's the biggest political house in the country.
Yeah, but it does not supersede the fact that they should be a protector of the laws. So their action must be guided by the laws. It cannot be the opposite of the law. I understand the politics part.
I don't want to go into the history of the Supreme Court opinion on politically motivated issue. Cabinet Jallah is the most recent one. I'm not going to go into all that, right? But all I can tell you is, the Capitol building is a political theater. Because I know there are a couple of critical issues on the horizon now.
Let me interrupt you one time. I'll let you finish. To the technicians, I don't think we're live on Facebook.
Our stream was disconnected.
What's that, Robert?
Yeah, I think our stream was disconnected. We're live on YouTube, but not on Facebook. So, but Kehleboe, go ahead.
All right. No, there are a couple of critical things in the parliament for the president. He has been going around. The finance ministry has been negotiating for loans, and these things are coming. So, if Speaker Okofa and his supporters man the two-pronged approach, both legal and political, mass action in defense of the Constitution in the street, I believe it will compel President Boaga to go to the plotters and say, listen, guys, you want to remove the speaker? Can you guys go for your December break? When you come back in January, you'll do that. For now, I want you guys be situated to ratify critical instrument. That will be President Boaga, secret message to them. And it will come back under the Garguah Speaker or Kofa. It will not be left with him how he goes about getting them to come back on board or remain on board with it. But for now, to when, I don't want to even the Tomalin said Thursday may not be that critical. They could even give 1 or 2 persons on Thursday, and the following Tuesday they could lose 2 or 3 persons. It might be difficult for them to reach out for the non-threshold. And once they don't reach out for the non-threshold, we are in a Salamite for a while.
Thank you. But look, like I said, I want to see the protection of our democracy survive. That we have to follow the laws and the rules when it comes to removing speakers or whoever else.
Let's try Donald Trump style.
But personally,
let's try Donald Trump style in the Capitol building.
But personally, I'm not happy with the speaker.
It's calling for destruction of our capital.
But personally, I'm not happy.
I'm calling for people's action. That's people's building, man.
I'm not happy with the speaker personally. I think he's giving this executive whatever.
No, but Robert, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What you think the speaker interview today changed the minds of any members of the anti-black or the public? I mean, what do you say?
I think the goal here was to really show him confront this issue. And to be honest with you, I have not watched the interview in its totality, but I think that somehow it did, right? Because he presented himself as a leader who's going to confront these challenges. He's not going to hide from them, and I thought that he succeeded in that. With regards to the way he answered some of the questions, I'm not happy about it. But like I said, he's a lawyer, and I won't attempt to question his or how measured he was in responding to these questions. But as far as changing the minds of those who want to see him out, I don't think the interview did that. I think, like you said, it motivated them, especially when he's saying he don't think that there were bribery here, when bribery is the main crime that makes this attempt unconstitutional. This is the reason why I'm against this issue, because of the process, the way in which it was done. That's the only reason I'm against the issue. And then too, when these guys presented their resolution, they're talking about 2022 budget, and I think he alluded to that today, right? The manipulation of the budget. Talking about 2022 budget, 2023 budget. They had this information to make an informed decision on who becomes the next speaker, and they voted for Nati Kofa. So I think this is baseless. I think these guys were
You can see
induced.
that they don't have ground. That's why
Huh?
they come back to it.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have any ground. That's what I'm saying. So which goes to my point. I think the ground here was money. Money was involved, and they went because of the money situation. So again, the speaker should have just said,
In
"Hey,
fact, Robert, to buttress your point, the fact that Representative Guar of Mangibi County, who Fonati actually made him one of the leaders in a committee, right? Some of the people who are on the rebellion side are people he has appointed in as chair of committee, who I will consider as speaker and members of his cabinet. So there must be a greater pull factor to pull them away from Fonati Kofa. It can't just be because the legislature is a scene of economic crime.
Yeah.
In Liberia, the legislature is a massive scene of economic crime against the state.
But
the crime would not be the issue. The real issue is there is a greater pool factor and I think money.
Yeah. So let's.
But you know what? They're going to run with that. They're going to run with that statement.
Yes.
That he doesn't believe is bribe. They're going to run with that. Even if he used it in a different context, they will run with it. They will take that. And for the culture that you're dealing with, they will listen to that and accept it. But they will run with that statement. They said, we were vindicated. The speaker said we did not take bribe. He doesn't believe it is bribe. And then they would just flow with that and stuff like that. You know.
I agree. And mind you, I know Ben don't agree. Mind you, Ben.
How you know I don't agree?
Because the way you're looking. Mind you, because you're thinking. Because mind you, Ben, remember when these guys met on Sunday in their meeting at the Pennsville Town Hall, they already started a narrative that Luther Collins has no evidence other than the one in his car. They said, and I quote, how can one man just show $14,800 in his car and no pictures or no video of who presented the money to him? Which is why I asked him, do they have any other evidence to directly point someone hands in a cookie's jar? So when the speaker comes and say, I don't think bribery occurred to remove me and I respect my colleagues, I think it puts those guys under fire. But Ben, I want you to add that. Go ahead.
Since you call my name, so let me tell you why I think he could have reworded it a different way? Yes. But I also hold on to the angle that he said that he also, and I think in the conversation he realized what he said, right? When he said, I don't think bribery, I don't think bribery was the reason that motivated. I think that's something like that what he said, right? That motivated them trying to remove me. But then he also said that, but hey, the LSCC has taken seize of this matter, and no matter what my opinion is, it's not going to stop the LSCC from doing this investigation. And for the record, they do have other evidence, right? There's another video out there, the one that Clarence got said that AI. I don't know who got AI in Liberia to record his voice, but there is another video out there where there's a whole video out there where he's clearly having a full-fledged conversation between him and Collins, and the issue of the money comes out. And I think at the end of the day, look, I think Clarence Guar, if you listen to Kofa, he was very deliberate when he went after Clarence Guar. He talked about him specifically about his public accounts committee, about the money that he has used, about how he didn't provide a report when he said he wanted another 300,000. You gotta, I listened to him carefully today, and remember he's a lawyer, right? Remember he's pled cases in the court of law. So there were certain characters he was going after today, and I think he accomplished it. I think his intention was not to throw the majority of them under the bus, but I think when he talked about the cartel, when he talked about Clarence Guy PAC committee, because Clarence Guy is the ringleader. So he's going after the ringleader here. And he talked about some of them who I wine and dine with, and who have literally giving everything to, pretty much everything they wanted, right? He talked about them coming to him to say they must send him to Sierra Leone, to Guinea. And he's stopping to realize that the president is the one who is the chief architect of the foreign policy. He was specific. He was going after, but then he also said, when Stanton tried to push him to call names, he said, I will call their names when the due process starts. So I think let's watch and see the game unfold.
Okay, we will watch and see what unfolds in the next few days. But I want us each to take 1 minute each. Since we're talking about the legislature being compromised, it seems like the legislature has a history of taking bribe and the bribe envelope. Front Page Africa is reporting that Prince Dr. Arthur, I'm not sure how you say his last name. Arthur Easy, the guy who purchased block 11, 12, and 14 in 2000.
They call him the block flipper.
He's one of the richest men in Nigeria, but he has a lot of dirty history. This man has gotten in business with murderers and dictators, and I mean it's a lot. But I heard that he's back, speaking directly with the executive mansion and attempting again to influence the legislature to secure block 15, 16, 22, and 24. We all know about the Chevron history with purchasing the blocks he bought and sold and made $250 million. What are your thoughts? I want you to take 1 minute each. Is this something? What is happening with Liberia, man? Ben, I want to start with Ben. What's going on?
Arthur Easy he's the one. I mean, I think a lot of his wealth came from that flipping, because remember, I followed that case very, very closely I think it was in 2000 and something. I forgot what year it was. Front Page Africa.
2007. Front
Page Africa did a lot of reporting on it. And I think the first check he wrote actually bounced during that time. The first check that he wrote, they call him the flipper. He came and got the oil block and flipped it to Chevron and made $200+ million from that. And from that $200+ million, he has been able to build and expand his wealth on the back.
Can you imagine 200
on the back of Liberia? I mean, they probably.
And how much did he pay? How much did he pay to secure those?
I don't know. I think 1 million. I mean, something 3 million. Something simple.
Can you imagine? So that means it was bad business for Liberian people.
So, like I said, they probably were giving that to a group of Liberians, and probably will have about 5 or 6 Liberian millionaires today, because they too would have flipped it to Chevron. But with that being said, again, it speaks testament to, I would not have advised Mr. Easy to have been in. If he had come to Liberia, he probably should have stayed in the background. I don't know why he went to a program. I don't know if he never thought people were not going to recognize him, and he was taking pictures with the president. He did not want to go to the president a welcoming ceremony. He went to the president's son, the lunch of the president's son foundation. I think he really, really, really messed himself up, because this is not a thing that's going to get quieted down. I think people are going to talk about it just based on his history. So I don't think he did himself some justice there. And let's see what happens, because there's going to be a lot of public pressure. The last thing I would say, the blocks that are remaining, the blocks that they're about to put up are all deep water blocks. And I can assure you that there's no company whatsoever, when you do research on oil and gas, there's no major company, I don't know of no African oil company that have the capacity to be able to exploit deep water blocks than the big five, right? The Exxons, the Chevrons, the Totals, the big five, the Gazproms, right? And I can assure you that more than likely there are some geopolitics that will play. So I don't know if he did himself justice.
But Ben, I mean, just to play the devil advocate, this guy has a lot of money, and he has a lot of connection with a lot of oil gurus in the Middle East as well. So anything is possible. But Dr. Peabody, what do you think about this guy? And Ben is saying he did not do himself any favor by being seen publicly. But did the government do herself any favor, knowing his record, by not caring whether or not this guy appears at the president's return speech? What are your thoughts?
Well, According to Front Page Africa, I like to reference that because I know they're credible.
But the pictures, he's in the pictures. He is the
He's in the
pictures.
picture, yeah.
Yeah.
He was invited not by himself. You got Jacob Okali, who worked for the National Oil Company. They are all friends. So who knows? There could probably be in another deal to banjo another all block again. I mean, his appearance. He's not embarrassed. He's not ashamed to come to Liberia, and Liberia embracing at the highest level of the country, at the presidential level. He's not embarrassed to come to Liberia, so they're probably in another deal to banjo another oil and make him a multi-billionaire. This man go to Liberia, spend about $200,000 or $10,000, and was able to earn $250 million. And Liberians are sitting there and embracing him at the highest level. He came to the President's Son Foundation inauguration. So you know how much money he put down and gave them, and will use that to get opportunity at another banjo site and get
President calling his good old friend.
Yeah, that's what we see, Robert.
Wow, Tomalin, the president's good old friend. What are your thoughts? Well, I mean, can you imagine? Well, I would have said, look, sir, you can't be seen publicly. You can't even come over here. You know what I'm saying? Get in your car, tinted windows. Let's meet, discuss, head back out. What is the publicity with all of this stuff, knowing this man record?
But this is time for the people, the Liberian people to rise up, to talk. You know, even this interest group, the civil society, political parties, they should be making noise right now, calling this guy out. We sat on this guy, took $200 billion of our country, flipped our all blacks, and became he became rich more than ever, and he came to Liberia. Now the man is back. The man came to the kind hustle again because they are deep water all blacks they're talking about now that remaining. He coming to get it, and trust me, he'll get it. So it's time for the people to make noise. The political parties, I want to hear them talking. Interest groups, soup, all of them. I they call that soup. Another group name. What other group you need? Soup.
What's it? It's called. It's our
Suda, soup. All of them. You should be talking about now. Look, put mouth on that guy that he run for all of Liberia. I know where he goes. Start booing, talking about him. So the flipper, calling the flipper. You know. But my man, we sit down there. We sit down. We welcome this guy, give him red carpet. Come again. And next thing again, bam. The man made money on us and he gone. It's a joke. It's a joke. Look, Robert, I will say again, I don't pull it yet, but I'll tell you the truth, right? So now I sat down to that. When I saw this crash at the camera building, I said, so what happened? What happened? What was 1980 all about? What was it all about? Because honestly, how far we reached. You also talk about Richard Tom Henry them doing this thing they put doing today. Let me be frank. They get 30 years now. Johnny, we say progressive, all the crap. What we are now. Put the country in a mess. Gone to civil war. Killed thousands of people have died. You know, trust me, then Gary said, they talk about Congo. Give me a break. The poor, I mean, don't never talk against the people. Honest, I will say, I don't care what people say. But BS. Let me be frank, man. I mess up. We pull.
Yeah, so let's go back. Do we have any oil deal or any oil arrangement during President Weah time? Do we have any information on such? Ben, can you correct me? Do we have anything of?
No, they started the process. The last administration started the process, but you remember COVID happened and then it slowed down. So they kind of laid a foundation. I think they're now in the era where the bid process is about to begin. That's what's happening.
So that means that this guy arrangement or re-engagement with Liberia, started from the past regime.
No, it didn't. No,
it didn't start, right?
Mm-mm.
So now they are resuming. They are now starting at fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we just heard the president telling a few months ago that the 285-year machine was a gentleman agreement. That's also true, right? President told that, right? But it's a gentleman agreement. Now we have a situation now where we have an individual from a West African country.
You mean sign MOU?
That is known to be.
Yeah, breaking news coming from the Walhalla, the camera building. I come, guys. I gotta leave. That news is very interesting.
Okay, so I mean, this whole oil business is just a problem for Liberia. Now, because our government, we have now placed into order a mineral and natural resource committee that will assess and map up our mineral and natural resource potential in a way that we know how to negotiate adequately and sufficiently for Liberia's benefit. So we are always at a point where people leave from out there, assuming that we have people here that are limited, that don't have enough information, that are not fully equipped with information. They come to us and mislead us. During Edin Sirleaf regime, people came from Nigeria places and took oil blocks here, and in 6 months, they sold it to other agencies and make millions like everybody else been seeing here. Today they are millionaires. Because what? Liberians. I don't think we have that much exposure. Our government need to make sure that we have a natural resource, natural mineral committee to do a potential assessment. What is our potential with natural resource in this country? And how do we negotiate? How do we discuss? How do we bargain? This is our reading the Constitution, Article 7, Chapter 2, Article 7, where the government must negotiate our natural resource and mineral issues within the interest of Liberian people. You have a Nigerian man or someone from the West African region coming to buy or negotiate for oil black because we ourselves in Liberia, we don't value ourselves. We don't even know what we have. We don't even know who we are in this country.
Exactly.
Ordinarily in this country, right? Ordinarily in this country, you can see a Liberian man and a Nigerian man contesting. We will see that we will select the Nigerian man or the Ghanaian or the other foreigners over Nigerian man or over the Liberian man who is contesting for a business opportunity. Liberians will like strangers to the extent that we don't know the value of the stranger that come to us. Everybody in this country want to have a stranger as a friend to the extent that our natural look, besides the oil, my brothers on the show, in all the counties, we have Ghanaians, we have Chinese, we have people all in our butchers, mining, diamond, and gold, to the extent that they are destroying our natural environment. And somebody tells you that they are illegal miners. I will tell you guys in the show, there are no illegal miners in the country. Everyone digging diamond and gold in this country, our people in government are aware of them, they know them, they give them, they sanction their action. So
Thank you.
even coming to the issue of the oil deal, look, gentlemen, we need to go beyond this situation of just being complacent with ourselves, with how things are. Our country is going down in the drain. And these things do not get replenished. When we mine them, when we exploit them, we are finished. We don't have nothing more left there. So if we don't have the capacity to negotiate in the best interest of this country, we are going to drain everything in this country. At the end of the day, we will turn to Haiti. In Liberia, we're not careful. Liberia will tend to be like Haiti. After Haiti have been exploited for all
Wow.
the
So
many
Johnny has drawn my Haiti analysis.
You can upload the report.
We probably like Haiti now or have passed Haiti.
Thank you, Johnny. So we got 5 more minutes. We're about to end the show. So let's go to look like the guys are back in the studio, huh?
No,
it seems like we're back on the air. But anyway,
I don't see them. I don't see them at all.
Okay.
In the back.
So
what happened, Robert? What happened is that that's the Truth FM, but the storm is so high tonight, the rain and the lightning, I assume they may have gone off.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
It's so bad. At one point, I had to go sit in my car outdoor to join you guys. So it's so bad in Dupro tonight. The rain and the storm is so high tonight in Dupro. I don't know why.
But maybe I thought rain season still on. Or is it over now? I thought it was over now.
American rain time, so can shine time.
Anyway, but listen, guys, it was a fascinating show. It was a great show. Thanks to everyone for coming on. But let's take a minute each to close. But I think that it's a circle for me. I'm not surprised at what's happening. We campaign against this president. We campaign against this president. We said that this guy, he just wasn't the right guy to lead our country. And unfortunately, it's been proven. I wish the speaker all the best. He's gonna need it. But this speaker got to step up, Ben. This speaker got to step up. This speaker, he's been too nice to the executive. They be too nice to Joseph Boakai. I told him this. I said, my man, you gotta tell the speaker. You gotta tell the speaker that you can work with the president, but he's been too nice to the president, bro. The kind of way I see the speaker moving and what he says, it's too much of a nice gesture to the president, And I'm not too happy with him. He should be the voice of the massive. He should be the voice of that government, the divided government that we're excited about. I don't see that divided government, in the voice of the speaker, But Ben, I will give you 1 minute to close, and then Dr. Peabody will go, and then Johnny will go, so we can be out. Ben.
Thank you. Great conversation. Great show again. Thank you. Excellent moderation. Great. I think we are headed for an interesting next couple of days. Hopefully, not weeks. I want to believe. I do know. I'm privy to the fact that there are a lot of conversations and discussions going on in the back. Hopefully, they will find a meeting of the minds somewhere. I know there's a lot of frustration out there with people thinking that this is kind of slowing the people's business down, which is absolutely true. But we'll wait and see. I think at the end of the day, my message is very simple. This is not about just the speaker being speaker or wanting to be speaker. If you have your grievances against him, take it to the floor. Go and face him. Let him face you. Let him answer the queries. You can't just say, oh yeah, we don't want him, so we this number, so he's gonna go. No, that's not how it works. If it worked like that in the past, it shouldn't be working like that right now. And one of the things that people tend to forget, in the past, those two speakers who, in the end, ended up vacating that seat, ended up resigning, right? One was a little short, one was not too long, but I think the Alex Tyler saga lasted for a couple of months, if I stand to be corrected. A couple of months. There was a great lock, right? And that was not a good time. So I don't wish that happening right now on the country, but I thought it was a fascinating discussion. We wait to see what happened in the next couple of days, in the next couple of hours. This is a fast moving news environment. Things are moving, right? Things are happening. Meetings are happening in the night. Meetings are happening right now as we speak. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. At the end of the day, they may have to figure out. Excuse me. They may have to figure out the way forward. But I look forward to seeing what comes out of it. On the issue of Mr. Easy, like I said, I don't think he did himself an injustice. We'll wait to see what the process will look like. If he will put in a bid, we'll wait to see what happens, and then the critique will come after. But I thought it was a fascinating discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. Your 1 minute. And in your 1 minute, since we're back on, in your 1 minute, the president is at the launching of his son foundation. What is this about?
Well, what's the all black guy is in Liberia, right? And they have different all blocks that they can take advantage of. So money is there. It's wasting. I mean, they are president now. I hail him to come up with a foundation to help. I applaud people who come up with a foundation to help people, but I just warn that he got to be careful with this money, because those kind of foundation can be used for possible money laundering. And people will come and give money. They know that you are a president's son. People will be willing to give you any amount of money you need to get the business deal across. But that's his son. His son is launching a foundation after he became president. Now when he was not a president. But now his son is there. His son is launching this foundation. And a lot of money going to come in. If possible, the thousands and millions going to come in. A lot of pay for play going to be there. But I just hope that he's doing it for the right cause, because sanctions will come to Liberia. When you're not thinking, those things will happen. So I hope they're doing it for the right cause, and he's leading his dad into the right thing. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Johnny?
Yeah, so thank you. Let me say thank you to everyone for this show, and let me appreciate all our listeners and viewers and followers through the various of communication. You can rely on a closing argument with debate the issues, void of personality and other issues. I mean, I'm not on this show as the partisan of any political party. I'm here to discuss the issue with my colleagues, and I give my candid view. My position here is not against, it's not against Speaker Kofa, neither is in support of those guys. I'm just giving analysis of what is unfolding and what are the potentials that we expect from the process, whether legally or not legally. What do we expect out of this process? And so, let me say this: the speaker needs to be very strong to convince probably more than 5 persons for that group to join him in the next 24 hours. If he's not strong enough to do that, I'm afraid, he will have a serious challenge. And like I said, he has more on his side to do than the guys who are in the rebellious position. Because he's the speaker. He's like the government. Those are rebels. Rebels most time have less opportunity, less accountability to people, to system, most time. You in government, you have more to account for. So he will bear the pinch of saying, look, speaker, you're one business, should not lead us. Legally, he's got a position to remain in his position. Legally, he's there. But again, politics and law. Politics and law. Like I heard my brother Kehleboe mobilize 20,000 persons. Where the other guys may mobilize even 10,000 or more, or 20,000 or more. And what becomes of that? If the country go at the standstill for a week or two, now we got IMF document coming pretty soon for ratification. Who will be in office to ratify that as legislature? And all that will go to what? Kofa may just leave the stage. They couldn't not die for your one business. Then you know what happened in this country. From tailor to everybody else. You can have all your legal rights. The law is
Why you
there for
say
you.
Ben know what happened in the country?
I know Ben. Ben, you know me, but I know Ben very well. My brother there. I know Ben very, very well. And what's up behind the scene, I know Ben very, very well. You know what I'm saying? I know this country.
Poor me.
I have lived in this country here from the day I was born. I've lived very minimal time in the country. I know this country socially, sociologically. I've lived everywhere around. You can be having the rights. If the majority does not want that right, my brother, you will have your hair. They will fire you. At the end, they make you a bad person. And then Kofa going to leave the stage. On the issue of the oil black, look, Liberia got to elevate her standards. We are a country that celebrate. When we say, oh, Liberia got 10 million from EU, I was celebrating. What is $10 million? Oh, Liberia got 10 million from EU, I was celebrating. What is 10 million for a whole country? That is why these guys in the background come to us and tell us, say, I can buy oil black for 2-3 million. We're celebrating over that. We should be discussing $1 billion issue as a country based on our natural resources where we have.
Thank you.
Well, who are we? Gentlemen, so, my leaders, I appeal to you, please elevate the country. We are not 10 billion, 20 million, 100 million country. We are $1 billion country to negotiate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert, let me say something quickly, 2 seconds. I want to speak to my brother Melvin Datu, how I know he just came. I don't agree. The speaker did not call all of his colleagues cartels. I want to reiterate it because he specifically asked here. He spoke about a handful of people that he considered as cartels. Those are the ones that he believes are the ones that are spreading the information that kind of influenced and that led this rebellion against him. So I agree with you. I don't think it was a blanket statement. He did not call all of his colleagues cartels. I think he was talking about a small group of legislators, small group of his colleagues who, in certain instances, he highlighted a few of them, right, who are leading this effort. I think those are the ones. And with that being said, I believe he was right to refer to them as a cartel because we know the reason why they are fighting him the way they are fighting him. And we can see the track. So I just wanted to state that for Melvin. Melvin, it's good to see you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, to all of our listening audience, thank you so much. Emmanuel, the closing argument is back tonight. Man, look, the show is over. But thank you to St. Tomalin George, the great Doc Henry Peabody, the infamous Chairman Ben Sanvee, who knows the country. Everybody think the men know the country. The Bao, the Gudo, the man inside. Johnny, thank you so much for being on. 1.8 follower. This is the closing argument. We are not so crazy about the numbers. We're more into the substance. and getting the Liberian people the information as they come. All right. So please continue to follow us, continue to tune in. For those of you who are having trouble with the different pages, we will do some cleaning up so that it's easy for you guys to have access to the link. But we want you to continue to share our show. We want to see authentic followers and people who come here to get real information. But listen, I thought it was a fascinating show. I want our democracy to survive. I want our democracy to survive. But I will tell the speaker, Mr. Speaker, I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with the fact that you've been so nice. There's nothing wrong with being nice. But we did not elect you to be nice to Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai does not deserve you to be nice to him. You know, you got to give it to the president the way the president is giving it to Liberian people. You can't get the president whatever the president wants. You know, I talked about it the last time, the sedition. You have the numbers. You have the numbers. The president cannot be. Yeah, but that's a whole different topic, Ben. Maybe the people, when you ask the seditions, they will tell you, say, the president, the speaker is not acting in the way he should be acting.
Nah, I'm just messing with you, man.
You know, so the speaker really gotta show out. You gotta show up. There's nothing wrong with being calm and collected and being measured. Fine. But you cannot allow Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party boys to get away with everything that they want. That's not why you was elected. But look, I think the speaker survives. I think our democracy survives. And I think that if those who are not in agreement with the speaker, if they want him to be removed, they must follow the law. They must understand that they are the protector of the law and not the opposite of that. So again, thanks to you guys. Thanks to our team in Liberia. Thanks to Truth FM 96.1 and Hott FM 107.9. May God bless you. And we see you guys here tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Is that right?
Yep.
We see you here tomorrow. At what time, Dot?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Have a great night. Thank you.